Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror. So today, guys, we are joined by some new friends, some old friends, and people that we are just super, super excited to hang out with. So over here to my left, right, whatever direction, because it's weird and mirrored, I have the amazing Matt Peppler. Matt, how you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
No, I'm so excited to have you. And up-and-coming podcast, which is going to be going live here at the beginning of next month. We have the beautiful Mika and Kira of the Double Feature podcast. How you guys doing?
Good. We're doing good. Glad to be here. Excited.
Oh, yeah, we're so excited to do this. Now, as always, guys, I want to let you know that before we get started, I have all of their links. Matt is not only a podcaster, an illustrator, and graphic designer, and then the Double Feature podcast. I have all of their links down here in the description, so you can follow them on social media. I'm very excited to have them on. Now, before we start, let's start with you, Matt. What can you tell everybody a little bit about what you do?
As you said, illustration, graphic design. I with an emphasis in like alternative movie posters, but I end up doing like a lot of horror stuff. So most recently, I just did like a Scream poster that went up on my website, and then on top of that, I'm also a podcast host of a podcast called Post Credits Podcast, and we generally do like movie specific podcast episodes. But it's my friend Brian and I, he's a filmmaker, so we kind of do like deep dives or our thoughts and opinions on movies, and then if it's absolutely horrible, we end up really kind of being a bunch of savages to it, So it's a mix of like criticism / downright this shouldn't even exist. Why are we here? So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Trust me, we've watched The Exorcist 2 as well, so we understand how that goes. What about you, Mika and Kira? What can you tell us a little bit about not only you guys, but the Double Feature podcast that'll be coming here soon?
I'm sorry. Now that you start. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, you can. Well, Mika, literally, you guys may know her already from Double Horror. Yep. She actually created an Instagram just to kind of highlight her love for horror. That's one of our favorite genres. And at Double Feature Podcast, the overall goal of that podcast is to kind of emphasize and highlight our greater love for all genres. So TV, film, and then just random tidbits.
Awesome.
See, and that's awesome because I've kind of backed myself into a corner being Sledgehammer Horror. I kind of, I don't have the luxury of that, but I do love horror so much, and I'm so excited for you guys when you get the podcast up and going. If you ever want some guests, Ashley and I are
awesome. Yes.
Very happy to join you guys too. So we're very excited about this. Now,
yes, we're newbies.
Yeah. Before we start, as always, I got to go through the little speech that I give. None of us know each other's list. We feel it's more fun that way. It's more genuine that way. Also, if you haven't, this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button so the algorithm gods will be a little more kind to us. And as we go, please give your input in the chat. We would love to know your favorite horror TV shows and what you love as well. So I'm going to start off with some honorable mentions. I have two myself. My first honorable mention is right now on Shudder, and that is the Creep Show TV show. And my other honorable mention was on Sci-Fi, I believe USA as well, and it is not on anymore. And that is The Mist, the TV show. I know The Mist caught a lot of flack, but I really did like that show, and I had a fun time with it. I was really hoping for another season of it. It's very unfortunate that we didn't get that. And the Creep Show TV show is so true to the old movies, like when you have your comic book style settings. And I really have a fun time, and the cast that they get to come on these episodes is always so great. Whether it be friends of ours like Hannah Fearman was on there, Justin Long. You get these amazing and Greg Nicotero works on the Creep Show TV show, so we might talk about him again later on too. So those are my two honorable mentions. Would you like to give your honorable mentions, my love?
I forgot the Mist TV show even existed. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Same.
I forgot about that. All right, so these are my honorable mentions. I have American Horror Story, and that is because I didn't like all of the seasons of it. Probably the one that I enjoyed the most was Murder House or Covenant. Those are like those are tied for first place for me. I did like some of the other ones, like Freak Show. You didn't watch a lot of these.
No, because I just did not like them.
Or Apocalypse. A lot of them was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I couldn't stop watching them. So I felt like I had to. It was obviously entertaining because I still wanted to see like what happened the next week. So that's an honorable mention. And then another one is Channel Zero. Again,
now, are you using Channel Zero as a whole?
And so this one is also an honorable mention because I guess the only one I didn't really like was the chopping block.
The Butcher's Block.
The Butcher's Block. I didn't enjoy that one. I wasn't invested in that one. But I really like the No End House. Like I love the concept of that, and I really enjoyed that one. So we had a lot of fun with those. Yeah,
they were very, very good. Good choices.
Thanks.
What about you, Matt?
My two honorable mentions are Millennium with Lance Henriksen from like the middle of the X-Files run. That same type of show, but mixed with like occult and horror. Like straight up horror, I absolutely loved. I've since tried to find it anywhere, and I cannot find that on like DVD or Blu-ray or anything. And then my other one is I don't know what variation of Outer Limits this was, but it also came out in like the mid '90s. And I used to like sneak out of my bedroom to just watch this show because it came on at like 11 or 12 at night on some random channel. But I watched so many of those episodes. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. What about you, Kira? What are your honorable mentions?
So the first honorable mention I wanted to highlight, I'm not really sure if people got a chance to see it, but I kind of binged it in one sitting. Brand new cherry flavor on Netflix. It stars Catherine Keener and Lola Salazar. I hope I'm saying that right. And the reason why I like it is because it was like unlike anything I've ever seen. To kind of summarize it, it's about a filmmaker goes to Hollywood for the dream, right? Runs into a man who promises to physically bring her to stardom, and it doesn't necessarily pan right. And meets Catherine Keener, and then all I'll leave you with is there is a bunch of supernatural kittens. Yeah. So it was very well done.
Definitely gets weird.
But for no other reason to watch it is Catherine Keener's performance in it. It was great.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I listed was Salem. I'm not sure if too many people are familiar with it, but it came on, like, I believe the WGN network.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was really well done. It was about witchcraft in the Salem. We're in Massachusetts, so we tend to kind of go to Salem quite a bit, and so we wanted to necessarily dive into that, and it was very well done. And a highlight of that series was Lucy Lawless in season 2.
Oh, Lucy Lawless is fantastic.
Yes.
Warrior Princess, baby.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
If only we met you guys 6 months earlier. We were in Salem. We took a trip to Salem in October.
Awesome.
So if we come again, I promise we'll look you guys up.
Oh, definitely, for sure. Okay, so it's my turn.
Yeah, what about you, Mika?
Okay, so for my first honorable mention, I got my notes. Evil. So it's a TV show on. It originally started on CBS, and now I believe it's on Paramount Plus. But I really love it. It's kind of like that non-believer believer dynamic. So you have a forensic psychologist who is put along with the in training priest, and they kind of investigating these unexplainable things and whether they're real or not. So it's a great series, and I really enjoyed that. So I wanted to put that as an honorable mention. And then the second one is a new one. So I want to kind of be, I threw it, I'm a little different, but it's From on Epix, and it just premiered last week, and they have like the first 3 episodes up. Really, really love it. So the premise about it is there's this small town, and anybody who shows up in this town is basically trapped in this town, and they can't get out, and it's kind of on this loop. And it's really, really cool. It does these great horror elements. So there's these things that you have to be at home at a certain time before these things come out at night. So I really, really am enjoying it.
It's good. It is.
That sounds good.
I'm gonna have to check this one out. That sounds awesome.
Check that out.
All right. So before we go on to our actual top 10, let's catch up on the chat real quick. Shaheem says my honorable mentions: American Horror Story and Netflix's Resident Evil. Maya's here. Hey, I'm in the car, so I'm using data, but I wanted to let you know I'll be able to make it. I'll join back in 20 minutes. today is also Maya's dad's birthday. So
Oh, happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
happiest
Dad.
birthday. Yes. Gavin, what's up, buddy? In terms of TV horror, not really for me, but the only TV show I loved was the Goosebumps TV show. I think we all
Oh.
loved that.
Yeah.
Viewer beware.
Yes.
For a scare. Hopefully all of you have The Strain on your list.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I love you. Matt Peppler, check out Harsh Realm. It's a lesser-known TV show by Chris Carter.
Oh,
Oh, good to know.
Oh, that's good to
Thanks,
know.
Robin.
On my list just because of Chris Carter.
By the people that did Lost. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hey guys, hope all is
I
well.
don't know about
Before
that.
this one. Hey Jay, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. What was that, Matt?
Well, if it's done by Lost, it then questions the ability for it to be a good show. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
Hot take. Sorry.
Ooh.
Real quick, Night Taylor's here. Hey Ken, Ashley, and panel. Hope you all are well. Yes, we are all
We're
amazing
great.
because we're joined by you now, Night. Thanks for
Yeah.
stopping in, buddy. So let us go to our top 10. Would you like to start us off this time, my love?
Absolutely. So number 10 for me is The Purge. I
Ooh.
enjoyed the TV show more than I did most of the Purge movies.
Mhm.
I thought that the storylines were better and the characters were more interesting. And just some of like the horror and like the inhumane parts of it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think I like the first season better than the second, but I still enjoyed the second season.
Yeah, it was good.
Mhm.
Before we continue, real quick, I do got to say this. I really, really, really keep politics off the channel. It's something that I do. But Jay, I agree with you. Much love to the people of Ukraine. Anybody that's suffering through anything that's happening right now. There's a difference between being political and being a human being.
Mhm.
And as a human being, my heart is breaking for people. You have civilians that are out there doing their thing. So I'm not going to dwell on that. But Jay, thank you for bringing that up. Much love. If that offends anybody, I'm so sorry. But as a human being, I have to say my heart and soul goes out to anybody that's been affected over in Russia and Ukraine, because the Russian people are just as heartbroken about this too. There's a lot of them that are not into this. So let's hope that we can get through this together. Let's power through it. And the people of Ukraine, I hope you're okay. Our love goes out to you guys. So Jay, I did want to bring that up. Thank you. It's been pretty heavy here in the horror community the last couple days. I wasn't going to talk about this, but since we're being serious for a minute, somebody in our tight knit circle has been found out to be a pedophile. So a lot of the stuff going on through Sledgehammer Horror has been kind of heavy lately. You'll notice that one episode of my first horror movie has been completely removed from the channel. I'm not going to go into it because it's not my place, but a friend of ours finally came out. She's 16 and told everybody what had been going on. So if you look through my first horror movies, you'll notice there's an episode missing. I will not redo that episode. I will not fill that slot. It's tainted to me. So that's another thing we wanted to bring up. I didn't know when the good time to bring that up would be, why we got rid of an episode.
Yeah.
But that's why. That's something that this channel does not support. We will not put that influence out there. So if you see there's an episode missing, I'm not going to say this man's name because it does not deserve to be said. But that's the bottom line. That's
Good
why
for
we're
you.
missing an episode. So
Good for you.
let's get back to fun stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, you want to tell us your number 10?
Yeah, I'm going with American Horror Story. There's a lot of stuff I loved about it, but it is a little hit or miss between seasons. Sometimes you get one that's great, and then it's like, oh, what was that? But that first season I thought was amazing. It was so well done, and it's kind of rare to have like a long format show be unnerving for so long. You know, usually there's like a stop to it at some point. So it was really interesting how they were able to do that. But yeah, it's still a show that I come back to, but it's like I kind of listen to the internet. I'm like, hey, is this one good?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then I'll jump back in. So yeah, that's my number 10.
Awesome.
That was us too.
Yeah, we're like, all right, let's give it a chance, and then either like it was a hit or a miss, and you watch the first episode and be like,
Yeah.
I guess we probably won't watch this season.
So 9 out of the 10,
Definitely
9 out of
agree.
10 times, 90% of the time, I'm like, yeah, you can watch this one. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
I went on with some of them, like The Coven. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we
a
liked
good one.
Coven.
That's a
Yeah,
great
that
one.
was a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like maybe 1-2 seasons out of the entire series probably are worth watching in our opinion.
Yeah.
Yep. I liked Murder House, and what was the other one I liked?
Um,
With the
With
End
the
of the
aliens
world.
and stuff.
No, it was like the end of the world and Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
The guy that had the most beautiful eyes ever.
Yeah.
The blonde
Yeah,
guy. I'm sorry. He had pretty
Apocalypse. Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
It had the witches from Covenant. Okay.
Yeah,
Apocalypse. The Apocalypse. Yeah.
Okay, Kira, you want to give us your number 10 before I get beat up?
Yes. So I don't know how you guys will feel about this one, but for me personally, I think horror can kind of be what you make of it. That's what I like about it. So sometimes it's not necessarily all gore or these over-the-top kills. For my number 10, and that's why I put it at number 10, is Sharp Objects. I'm not sure if anyone heard of the series. It was on HBO with Amy Adams starring in it. The main reason why I put it was because it is a murder mystery. So you do try to figure out who killed 2 children who went missing in this town, and Amy Adams is a journalist. And then it's also about the horrible things we do to ourselves and the horrible things that happen to us as well inside of a murder mystery. So excellent writing and excellent acting. So Sharp Objects is what I picked.
I love Amy Adams, so I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah.
I
Dark.
just thought it there, left off my list. Son of a bitch. All right, Mika, you want to give us
very
yours?
dark though.
Okay, so this might be controversial because it's at the end of my list, but I put The Walking Dead.
Oh,
and I put that as number 10. I know. Look at. I know. Okay, but so I put it is on the list, but I put it at number 10 just because initially when it first came out, it was a great show. I love what it did for reinvigorating the zombie genre.
Yeah.
I kind of put that too in terms of I really started strong with the show. I did kind of fall off around season 7, 8. Just because I think the show did kind of fall off a little bit, but for what it did in its heyday in terms of being groundbreaking, the character development, the stellar cast. I mean, you really were in there with your peeps, and no one was safe. So I kind of couldn't take the ride anymore. So
Right.
But I put it on there as number 10 because I really do love the show.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of stuff and things from that show. So number 10 for me is an HBO exclusive, at least that's how we watched it, and it is The Outsider.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very much enjoy this show.
Yes.
We had a blast with the show. It's
We
about
binged that show.
we binged it in like 3 days.
We
So
did too.
yeah, it's such a good show. And the thing about this is I went into this completely blind. I heard it's a Stephen King episodic show. And I was like, oh, cool, because I love Stephen King. I love TV shows. Let's check this out. And I was so after the first episode, I was so mesmerized. I was like, how could this possibly go? Like, what is going to happen here? So this is one that I can't recommend enough. I know it never got the true exposure that it probably should have gotten. Right. So I'm going to go with The Outsider at number 10 for me. So before we go to number 9, let's catch up on the chat a little bit. Sean says, did not think of Lost. Yeah, I guess that's part horror. I loved Lost until the last season. I agree. Horror to me is so subjective. And I'll stand by this my whole life. The scariest movie when it comes to affecting my life I've ever seen is The Truman Show with Jim Carrey. That movie ruined me. Like that movie, I really thought that was my life, and someone was trying to hint at me that everybody was watching me. My psychosis went all crazy. So yeah, horror is what you make it.
Yeah.
A favorite new TV horror of mine is Black Mass. I don't think we've seen that, have we?
Oh, I don't think I know that one.
Check that out. A recent one I really liked was that Korean
Midnight
zombie show on Netflix. Was that? I don't know.
Maybe Black Summer, maybe? Black Summer? I know Midnight Mass. Yeah.
Oh, Korean zombie show on Netflix.
I wonder if they're thinking maybe Army of the Dead. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Hey, Video Creep.
Hey.
What's up, Michael? Me and Michael and Ashley and our friend Celeste will be working together on March 16th, ranking the Leprechaun franchise. So I hope you guys can join us for that one.
My goodness, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
I almost bought that set
creep.
because it's like $10 on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's real cheap. $9.99.
Box set
For like $10.
for like $10 for the box set.
Yes,
For $10, I would buy a box set. Yes.
As we left, the cashier was like, "Fucking idiots."
I know. I got one over on them. We just paid you to take it.
What's up, Daniel? How you doing, buddy? Woof. Yeah, let's hope he gets what's coming to him. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Michael. Michael is the one that, again, pure transparency. Michael's
Right.
the one that let our group in on what was going on.
Oh,
You are one of the best people I've ever met, Michael. Thank you. Number 10, Haunting of Hill House. Absolutely phenomenal show. No hate whatsoever. It's ranked low, and I think Victoria Pedretti was my favorite aspect of the whole series. Sadly, she wasn't in it much. On a side note, Matt, I absolutely stand by the fact Lost is an amazing show from beginning to end. I'm talking about it on Horror. Jay's gonna get you, Matt. Ken, you just showed reason number 3,277,608 why your channel rocks, bro. You guys are just good people, as my granny would have said. Well, thank you, Jay.
Oh.
That means a lot. Thank you so much. It really, really means a lot to us. Hey, Video Creep, how's it going? Happy Sunday to you, Chud's Corner. This is J, Dev, and I canceling
Oh, he canceling me.
for having The Walking Dead solo.
It's on there. It's on there. Made the
So
list.
X-Files.
Yeah, Mud Xbox counts as horror.
Amazing
Or
stories.
X-Files.
I do count the X-Files as horror, absolutely.
Yes.
I got to start getting ready for Twitch. Hey, man, thank you for stopping out, Michael. It was nice to see you. Supernatural is one for me. Tim and Eric bedtime stories. Oh, God. Alice in Borderlands, never seen that. All of Us Are Dead is the...
Yeah, all of us.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
check that out.
we watched
That was actually really good.
We liked it.
Mhm.
Midnight Mass. Mika and Kira, great guest to be on the show. I agree. All right, guys. So now we are going to go to our number 9, and that will be Matt starting us off at number 9.
I'm going with Ash vs. Evil Dead for my number 9. I thought this. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead movies, even the remake, and I thought this was one of, like, as close to a perfect like continuation as they could possibly get from those movies. I thought the special effects were great. I thought the comedy was great as well. I really enjoyed this one, and it's amazing that it actually even happened. You know, like it's just so interesting. Even because even if you look at like the legality of those movies, like they didn't have the rights to do Army of Darkness. You know, so it's like they couldn't reference any of that, but still like found a way to make it entertaining without it. You know,
Right.
It was great.
The only bad thing about the show is the ending. I wish we could have continued the show a little bit longer.
Yeah, it was just
I
like
agree.
you didn't get any
Closure at all.
closure from it. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So good choice, Matt. And I have a very strong feeling we'll be talking about Ash vs. the Evil Dead more in the next hour or two. What about you, Kira? What comes in at number 9 for you?
Okay, so it made the list. Some people might think it should have been higher, but at my number 9, I chose Bates Motel with basically horror royalty at this point, the very talented Vera Farmiga. From the Conjuring series, most people know her playing Lorraine Warren. She does an amazing job playing Norma Bates. And what I really liked about the series is it really kind of elaborated on what formed the psychology behind Norman Bates. And to me, it really personalized their relationship more, but kind of really made you feel like the mother wasn't necessarily the negative influence that you kind of perceive in the film. So I thought it was very well done. If people get an opportunity to watch it, it was a great series.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Another one we may talk about more here in the next couple hours. What about you, Mika? What comes in at number 9 for you?
Okay, so I love a good, anthology, show and something that's different all the time. But I kind of took it back and I did Tales from the Crypt. So really, really love that show, and I remember watching it, on HBO. And part of what was the scariest thing was, that opening intro to me, like you're going through the graveyard scene and going through the house, and you got the spooky music, and then you go to this coffin, and you have the crypt keeper who comes out with that crazy scream and laugh.
Yeah.
And I always loved that every story was so different, and the cast and group of actors that they got for each episode was always amazing. So I'm going to go with Tales from the Crypt.
Awesome.
Great choice. Number 9, I had to remove a title from my list because I just thought of number 9, and I'm so pissed at myself because this should be higher. And I'm going to say that right off the rip.
Okay.
This should
wow.
be higher than it is. I can't believe I forgot about this show. So I did remove Midnight Mass. Midnight Mass was on my list,
Okay.
but I
You
forgot
removed
about Mr. Smiley,
I know, but it better be worth it.
Mr. Mercedes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. We didn't see it, but that's one on our
Stephen
list.
King's Mr. Mercedes. Holy shit, this should have been top 5. I adore this show.
Okay.
It is scary. It is funny. It is suspense. It's everything. I'm so pissed at myself that I forgot about this one because
I did too.
we watched this show. I think it had 3 or 4 seasons. We watched them probably 3 or 4 times all the way through. The cast is phenomenal. The story is great. It follows the 3 books in the Mr. Mercedes series on Stephen King. And it's so amazing. I'm so pissed at myself that this is not higher. So I'm going to keep bitching about this later. But Mr. Mercedes should have been higher on my list. So yeah, I had to take off Midnight Mass for it. So I feel like Mr. Mercedes is a much better show in my humble opinion. And I love Mike Flanagan. I love Midnight Mass. We'll be talking a whole lot of Flanagan today. But I got to go Mr. Mercedes, guys. And if you haven't checked it out, it was on, I can't remember what it was on, but it's on Peacock now.
Oh, okay.
And it's so, the channel it was on got bought out. Audition or something along those lines. But it got bought out. The channel doesn't exist anymore. And Peacock picked it up. So Mr. Mercedes is definitely the one for me. So you want to give us your number 9, Mom?
Yeah. So number 9 for me is Lock and Key.
Oh, I love that series.
I didn't really know what it was at first, and I was like, let's check this out, and we fell in love with it. Like, and I love the concept of it. And I think, I don't know, both seasons we binge watched both of them, and yeah, it was just really fun, and there were scary moments for sure. And
our friend Joy Tanner,
she was amazing as Erin. She did amazing in season 2. She was more in than she was in season 1.
It's just awesome to root for your friends. You know, like, go get it.
Right. And even though, never mind, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yep. Stop.
Okay.
No spoilers.
No, but I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, for sure.
Very good. Good choice.
No, it was a good series. Yes.
All right, so now we will catch up on the chat again before we go to our number 8. Sean says, would not call Truman Show horror, but it's Jim Carrey's best movie by a mile. Story and character-wise, I prefer Dumb and Dumber. Oh, for sure. But see, I can't watch the Truman Show anymore. Like, it scared me to that point. Like, even thinking of that movie gives me really bad anxiety. So I get it. Penny Dreadful at 10. OG Twilight Zone. What a choice. What a choice. Bruce Campbell for the win all the time, for sure. The Hunger. I haven't seen The Hunger.
I've heard of it, but we haven't seen it.
Let's check it out.
You know, it's funny when I considered, like, I was like, how about we do this? You're like, there's not really that many horror TV shows. I totally proved you wrong.
Oh my gosh. She was like, this is a list we should do. I was like, there's not even that many shows.
And then
I
just
tons.
Sending up, and he was like, all right, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah, we found it hard to even like 10. We were struggling to try to compile a list of just 10. So there's quite a bit of horror series out there.
And we're Libras, so we were so indecisive. It was
See, I'm just an idiot. I forgot everything. I can't believe I forgot Mr. Mercedes. Like, I'm kicking myself in the ass right now.
Yeah, you redeemed yourself. You're highlighting it.
Right. Evil. A newer show on CBS is kind of like X-Files with demons. Oh, okay. Haunting of Bly Manor, loved more. See, now what I love about the Haunting of Bly Manor is that the turning of the key is the real, the Haunting of Bly Manor is based on the turning of the key.
Right.
And this is the best adaptation of the turning that I've ever seen. And now I'm going to go a little bit spoilery here. The Haunting of Bly Manor is also not on my list. It was very hard to leave off.
And I left it up too. I had it and then I just scratched it out.
But for me,
I left off mine too.
It's one of the ones that I wanted to have it, but I couldn't. Everything else above it is so much better. I couldn't. So Tom Hanks directed a pretty good episode of Tales from the Crypt. He absolutely did. The Holly character, yes, Holly from Mr. Mercedes was in Outsider.
Yes,
Holly, it was actual Holly. If you watch The Outsider and they actually tied The Outsider and Mr. Mercedes together. Holly from Mr. Mercedes goes into The Outsider, her detective agency. Good call, Ben. I completely forgot that they did that. I will be meeting Dana De Lorenzo this year at Crypticon and would like to have a Ghostbuster spin-off film with Brandy. Oh, speaking of which, we're going to be at Horror Hound in Cincinnati next month.
We are.
Hope to see some of you guys there. Hey, Chris Marshall's here.
Hey, Chris.
Sorry I'm late, but better late than never. Dude, you had a long night last night. You had a beautiful date to that daddy-daughter dance, buddy, so I completely understand why you're a little bit late. Oh, they looked amazing. Oh, they looked great. You might as well write it. Hey, Matt, I found you through the Horror Dads. Just wanted to say that while you're on here, that your art is amazing, man. Now, what you guys don't understand is Gavin's completely right. When Matt sent me his screen press painting that he just did, oh my gosh, it's fucking brilliant.
Nice.
Thank
I'm
you.
telling you
Thanks
right
a
now,
lot.
you will be seeing some Sledgehammer horror posters and merchandise available with us and Matt Peppler that will be happening in the future that I'm very excited about. So until then, let's get back to the countdown. We
Thanks
are now
again,
coming
bud.
to number 8, and that is Kira, starting us off at number 8.
Ooh, great. So I already saw it mentioned in the chat, but my number 8 is the Twilight Zone, the original. This is a series that I actually rewatch every single year.
She does.
I do, yes. I literally love that it challenged like so many different moral themes. Vanity, greed, injustice. And then I was making a joke before when I was thinking about this list was before there was Annabelle and Chucky, there was Talking Tina, like the Living Doll episode.
Talking Tina.
Yes, so the Twilight Zone is my number 8 choice.
Very nice choice. What about you, Mika?
Is it me? Okay. So my number 8 is going to be Chucky, the TV series.
Wow,
yes,
really?
yes. So I had a great time with the TV series. It was on USA. We had a lot of, I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of familiar faces. So it was really a good time. They did a great job of blending the humor. I like laughed so much. Also with the gore, I just found myself really enjoying it. So I think they did a good job of coming from the movies straight to the series, and I love the young cast. So very, very awesome. Yes.
That cast
I
was so good.
have not watched that yet.
Yeah, she has not.
She's been trying to get me to watch it. I haven't yet to watch the series.
We'll have to watch it.
Here's the thing, though, Kira. After you watch it, not only do you got to tell Mika, but you got to text me and Ashley and let us know what you think.
Okay, yes. I've been dragging my feet,
Yeah.
but she keeps saying you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So number 8 for me has already been mentioned by the beautiful Ashley Sledge, and that is Lock and Key.
Such a good one.
The reason this is low for me, because I consider this to be low, is because there's only 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
While I adore both of them, I would like to see a little bit more, especially with the way they ended it, how they're going to continue the story into season 3.
To see how they do that.
Yes, because again, without spoiling stuff, somebody decided to lose their magical powers and be able to forget. So I want to see how they're going to carry that on into the next season. So for me, number 8 is Lock and Key. What about you, my love?
This is more of a horror comedy. The Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, fuck!
Oh, yeah. Oh, Kim forgot that too.
Oh, he did.
Damn it!
Drew Barrymore. Well done
I
series.
was so sad when they canceled this show,
I
and
was
the
too.
way they it was just ended. It was gone. We didn't get the
Yeah.
closure at all. And like, I literally signed a petition to have it brought back. Like, that's how that's how much I like that show.
They dedicated. They brought Manifest back.
Timothy, what's his name?
Oliphant?
Oliphant, yeah. Their chemistry
So
was so
good.
great, and just the way they were together, and like the neighbor Eric, he was funny and
The goofy,
awkward.
yeah.
And, yeah, I had a lot of fun with those. What was there, 2 seasons? 3 was there 2?
The 3.
Yeah,
Three.
3 seasons. Yeah, and
So good. That show's so
they could
good.
still bring it back. Darn it.
Oh yes, they brought Manifest back. The fans petitioned hard for one more season of Manifest, so you never know.
Petitioning,
Keep
Ashley.
petitioning.
I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
petitioning for sure.
Don't give up.
It's gonna be just Ashley with a picket sign.
We'll sign it. We'll sign
This
it.
is bullshit.
Pretty much.
Bring me back to die.
Like,
Yeah.
posted around like we're and no one's backing me up. But
Oh my gosh. So my number 8 was also Santa Clarita. No, I'm just kidding. I wish
oh
I
my god, you said you left it up your list.
I did, like an idiot. So what about you, Matt? What's your number 8?
My number 8 is The Haunting of Hill House. This was one of the shows where I don't think that they did anything wrong with it. And I watch a ton of movies, so it's getting to the point where it's like hard to get scared at something.
Yeah.
And this show was able to like pull that off. It's a pretty terrifying moments. I was like, I binge watched this show in like a couple nights. And it was like super late. And then there's that scene where the sister comes through like from the back seat.
The back seat of the
yes,
car.
yes.
The ghost of Nell. Yes, the ghost of
Nell.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yes.
That was
So
terrifying.
Ditto.
But I thought the story was excellent as well.
Mhm.
And all the little clues you could see, like the different patterns in the door that were all the same room, or all the ghosts that you could see in the background standing still. Stuff like that was really awesome to see. So, yeah, I love
And
it.
Oh, excellent.
what a
series.
perfect cast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. And it has our girl, Carla.
Georgina.
She can do no wrong.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. we just rewatched Ouija Origins of Evil today.
Oh,
while we're talking
That's a
about-
good one.
That's a good
Yeah,
one, too. Yes.
So, all right. So before we go to our number 7, let us catch up on the chat. Charles, love the Twilight Zone. Well, someone agrees with you, Kira.
Yeah.
Maya, okay, I'm back, everyone. We went out for a great supper, had a lovely chicken, cheese, lettuce, bacon, and chipotle ranch wrap.
Sounds
Ooh,
good.
making me hungry. Nice.
Yeah.
And Maya, I don't know if you heard or not, but we did wish your dad a very happy birthday.
Yes.
So we hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. J-Dead, The Strain, underrated. First 2 seasons were brilliant with awesome storytelling and plot building.
That was a good series.
That's the reason it's not on my list, because I stopped after 2 seasons.
We
Me
did.
too.
No,
Yes.
anything else that's happened
I
on that
know.
show.
Is this still going? Like, is this still?
I
No.
hope so, because it was fun. I'd love to catch up on it.
I think it got to 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Five? 5?
Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I'd watch the rest of it.
We should.
I stopped at season 2 as well.
Yeah, we did too.
We did
I
too.
don't know
Every single person.
I don't know why we fell off.
I think the reason why we fell off is because it moved from FX to FX Plus or whatever, and we didn't have it at the
Oh.
time.
Oh,
And we were like,
oh.
and then we realized it was still on, and it was like season 4, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's too much has happened
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
Shaim says Black Summer, one of the most tame but intriguing
I
zombie
saw
shows
that.
I've seen in a long time since Z Nation and The Walking Dead. I loved both seasons 1 and 2. I have not seen that.
Huh.
That was very
The
good.
Hitchhiker
I
TV
agree.
series. Have you seen that?
Hitchhiker
Hmm,
series.
I didn't know that. Never heard of that one.
Hey, Ken and Ashley. Hello, twins and Matt.
Hello.
Oh,
Bye.
Love The Strain. I know J-Dub does. It's so good. I'm sorry, J-Dub. Here's me canceling myself. Mandatory to diet off. The show was good. God, we got to watch it again. Watched Sleepaway Camp 1 and 2 for the first time last night. Well,
Oh,
I'm very happy we
nice.
didn't watch 3. But
Oh.
what's your thoughts, Cal, on the first 2 Sleepaway Camps? I just pre-ordered the Chucky series on DVD on the Amazon app. I'm so blessed. I already own the Don Mancini 7 DVD collection already.
Nice.
Oh, something I brought up earlier. Matt, you brought it up. I will die on the hill. The Evil Dead remake is better than the original.
Oh, I agree. Sorry, I agree too. We both
I
do.
don't
think
think
that
that's
Evil,
like
I think
that
Evil
bold of
Dead
a
2
statement.
is the best in the franchise.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think that the Evil Dead remake is better than the Evil Dead.
I agree with that.
It's absolutely intelligent. I love how they're going to get their sister clean from dope.
Mhm.
It's not just a bunch of kids going to
Yep.
party in the woods. Like, that story made sense. It was brutal. It paid a lot of good
Very
homage
brutal.
to the first one. While not trying to copy it, but it
Right.
let you know that it respected what its predecessor did. So
Mhm.
Yes.
I agree. Evil Dead, the remake, so much better. And that brings me to the Chucky remake. I don't hate it. I love it.
I love
I'm
it
with you,
too.
Ken.
We'll see.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think
It
it's
was a
so
good
much
time.
fun.
It was a good time.
I
Yeah.
think it would have been better if they would have just named it something else.
If
But
if it was up to me, they should have named that movie The Buddy Doll, and then From the Universe of Child's Play.
yeah.
I
Oh.
think that if they would, because then you could have carried on with The Buddy Bear from the Universe of Child's Play. You know,
Oh my
like you could
God,
have,
the one they did
and you
with
could have
that one.
honored Chucky without using the Child's Play name and
Yeah.
and almost ruining. They almost couldn't do the Child's Play TV show.
Mhm.
Don
Oh, yeah.
Mancini almost lost his rights to Child's Play, and the studio was like, "That's how much we care."
Mhm.
So
Jeez.
that's the one thing about the remake that really bums me out is Don Mancini almost lost everything that he built himself and he's been a part of since the beginning. So,
Yeah.
but I like the movie.
I did too.
Maya says, as I mentioned when you came to me with the idea for the stream, I haven't seen many horror TV shows, but I'll attempt to make a shorter list and share my picks. Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Ooh, Shaim, that's awesome. Thanks, Maya. I didn't think they had it on DVD yet. I'm very excited for that too. Dominic, Channel Zero and Ash vs. Evil Dead. Both have been talked about.
Yep.
We'll get a little deeper into Channel Zero here in a little bit. I love the Chucky series. The 4th season was the final season. Okay, the 4th season was the final of The Strain. So we
okay.
only got 2 seasons we got to rewatch. J-Dev, I promise you I'll call you right
We
afterwards.
go
buddy.
back to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it on anything? Is it
Oh,
streaming?
I'm sure we can find it.
Yeah.
Lovecraft Country. Top 3:
very
Tales
good.
from the Crypt, Twilight Zone, Bates Motel. Period.
Okay.
Creep Show is crazy as well.
Mhm.
Ken, I've heard that we might have progress on the MLB lockout. I haven't been able to look.
Wait, I thought you said that they were.
It's looking like we weren't going to start the season on time,
Yeah.
but we might have progress. Steve, thank you for popping in, because I seen you sent me a message, but I try very hard not to be on my phone during these streams. For those of you that don't know, I'm a huge Detroit Tigers fan, huge baseball fan. So
I'm
the
committed.
season being in jeopardy is killing me. Sorry, Supernatural is the greatest of all and second best show of all time.
Oh,
I
wow.
agree, Ken. I love the Evil Dead remake. I have to disagree. There are scenes in the Evil Dead remake that are unrealistic.
Oh yeah, there is
For
one.
sure.
There's one that drives me insane.
We can't get started on that, please.
Yeah, I think I knew it.
One for me would be Scare at Bedtime and Podge and Raj. None of you have heard of it. It's an old Irish horror TV show I watched as a kid. I'll say I'd never heard of that one, but now I don't feel like an
Ooh,
asshole.
noted,
because none of
though.
us have heard of it.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can find that noted. I'll have to see if I can.
So let us start with our number 7, and that will be Mika starting us off this go round.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm taking it back again. And I love a good anthology story. So this is a show that really kind of got me into horror when I was younger. So I'm going to pick Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, nice.
So I loved it. It came on Nickelodeon, you know.
Nick at Night, baby.
Yes. And it was so cool because you had these, like the tweens.
Midnight Society.
Yeah, the Midnight Society. You're in the woods, throwing the dust into the fire, and telling you a scary story. And one of my favorites is the Chameleon with the twins. Yeah.
Tia and Tamir Martin.
Yeah, that was
That's
one
a
of the
good
new
one,
ones, the newer one they did. But yes, love it. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Amazing. Yeah.
I love how when Mika says it, Kira's like, "Girl, I know. I was there." That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it.
Number 7 for me has been talked about.
Okay.
And we all go a little mad sometimes, especially when we're at the Bates Motel. I do love this show. Now, the one big problem I had with this, if you're still watching it or if you have yet to watch it, mute me until I give you the thumbs up. So 5, 4, 3,
Spoiler.
2, 1. About to be a big spoiler. Mute this until I give you the thumbs up. Here we go. They kill Norman as a teenager in it.
Oh, yes.
And that really pissed me off.
Yes.
Like, that's the one thing about this show. Okay, you guys can come back now.
Yes.
That's the one thing that really bummed me out. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that in this show. So,
and I won't spoil it, but the way he dies and by whom makes it worse.
Yes, absolutely makes it worse. But there's a very beautiful moment in that spot, too.
Yes.
Very beautiful moment that made me teary-eyed when I watched it. So for me, I got to go with Bates Motel. And something that I love about the show is the introduction of the sheriff, Romero, Dylan, the brother.
Yes.
The cast in this was so strong that even when you weren't focused on Norman and Norma in the motel, you were okay.
Yeah.
Because the cast was so strong.
Getting to know Emma and Bradley. I agree. I like that
Bradley
they gave other
great.
Characters their own story arcs for sure.
Yes. So number 7 for me was Bates Motel. You want to give us your number 7, my love?
Yes. So number 7 has already been talked about also, and this is The Outsider. We binge watched that, and there's not a lot that Stephen King does that I don't like. And just the suspense and the mystery and how this was going to continue and what was going to be the end game it just had me in awe the whole time I was watching it. And then Jason Bateman, he was phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
So
he
good.
did such a great job.
Agreed.
And like the being, I don't know if everyone's seen it, but the being in 2 places at one time and the mystery of it, and it just, it was awesome. I love that show. And I couldn't get enough of it. Like we literally probably watched it in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
We're like, my kids don't need to eat dinner. Like, you guys some cereal. We're watching The Outsiders.
Yeah, listen, you're 8 months now. Start getting shitty out your mouth, okay? Outsiders.
I'm watching something. So,
good choice.
I really enjoyed it.
All right. So, Matt, you want to give us your number 7?
I'm going with the X-Files.
Very nice.
Came on when I was like a kid. And there was another show that I had my face glued to the TV each time it was on. And I loved that it was, I mean, it was almost like an anthology show the way they had it, but with the same main characters. So it was like this creature of the week thing. They're trying to solve stuff. And then some of the horror that they got into was crazy. Like they had that one where it was similar to the Thing movie where there was this parasite that was
Yeah.
and then one of them that an episode that was banned about like the cannibalistic family that was almost like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, the cannibals.
Yeah. It was just, it's interesting to see how far like, or how some of these episodes were so different than each other, but then still being able to be cohesive as a series, you know? So it's still one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it spawned some decent movies too. You know, nothing to go absolutely crazy about, but it did spawn some good movies too.
Yeah.
All right, so number 7, now we have Kira.
Oh,
Number 7.
I am the same as Matt. The X-Files made number 7 for me. Yes. All of the reasons that Matt highlighted. I specifically loved that Mulder, David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, perfect pairing. I always rewatch this series as well every year. I definitely love the earlier seasons versus the later ones. But I love the fact that they had Mulder relegated to the basement initially. He was the believer. Scully was the skeptic. And then sometimes I always laughed about how they could never prove their cases to actually be factual. But they came really full circle towards the end of the series. And so trust no one. I want to believe. The X-Files is my
I want to believe.
Yes.
Awesome.
Very nice. So, all right, before we move on to number 6, let us catch up on the chat. Killing Eve is a great show. New season starts tonight.
Yeah.
Big Chicago Cubs fan here. Cool story, Judith. Watching Freddy's Nightmares now for the first time. But you know what? People shit on Freddy's Nightmares. I like it. I don't think it's terrible like everybody else does. Grim, great twist on some old stories. 6 seasons and only a handful of throwaway episodes that missed the mark. Maya, I made my list and turns out I have seen 10 horror shows. I guess I could count a lot.
There's more out there than you think.
It's so true. It's your dad's 50th birthday. Hell yes, Maya. Tell me said happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Are You Afraid had the creepiest opening. My favorite part. Oh yeah. Oh, hey, Ken. But I will say this. You said your favorite part. Man, what about Nick Arcade, man? Nick Arcade was dope. Come on. I always wanted to be on there with that kid. Like, come on. I would have killed it on Nick Arcade. Robin says number 7, The Twilight Zone. Number 7, MTV Scream TV series. I'm a huge Scream fan, so when the show trailer came out, we thought it was a joke. The series came out and we loved it. The series got better as the seasons went on.
I like that series.
Yeah. And they say there are no good remakes. Chucky remake is really good, not great, but classic OG. You know what? I put them right on par for different reasons. And that's a story for a whole nother day, but for different reasons, I have them right about the same level. That's already kind of scared. Bedtime was not shown outside the UK as far as I know, so very few people outside the UK would know what it is, but good show, but sadly it's out of print on DVD. Of course it is. Happy 35th anniversary to the Dream Warriors.
Nice.
How sick is that?
Very
35
years.
Welcome to Primetime Bitch. Yes.
Wow, look at that.
I need to go back and watch The Outsider. Yes, you really
Yes,
do.
definitely. Yes.
Maya's going to give us her quick 10 through 7. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Be in my top just was, super cool. Thankfully, this list was substantially easier to put together. The Stephen King one was hard, I promise.
Yes,
so
agreed.
Of course, Sister episode is your favorite. Wouldn't be right another. I like Lone Gunman. Murder, She Wrote, my grandmother's favorite. She's smiling from heaven.
Classic. Angela Lansbury.
The opening of that always scared me. I don't know what it was. The tune of it just scared me so bad as a kid. It is Nightmare 3's birthday. Second favorite horror of all time behind Scream. The X-Files episode called Home.
Yes.
Dylan, my guy. Emma, my girl. But Norma was so good. Loved her. Mad at Normal. Ken put that in the top 5. Do it now. Sorry, dude. I told you
Unsolved Mysteries.
That was scary.
Yes.
That opening.
Yes.
Yes.
That
So
music.
that
Yes,
was
yeah.
you, honorable mentions Euphoria. I've never
Oh,
seen Euphoria, but I hear so much
excellent.
about it. Is it good?
Exceptionally,
Good show. Yeah.
definitely.
I see
We haven't
Zendaya's
watched
in
the
it.
new season just so we can binge
Binge
it. The season finale for the season 2 is
I
tonight.
think it's this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna binge it.
Binge it. Yeah.
Cool. Honorable mention number 2, the Goosebumps show from the 90s. This is my love for horror and nostalgia that I have for that show is immense. This might sound a little goofy, but Goosebumps would have been on my list. I love it.
I love Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Ken, are the 2 lovely ladies single? I doubt it.
Oh, look at that. We are.
So now we are going to go to our number 6. And number 6 for me, I kind of am a cheater, pumpkin eater here because I did not want to include every single season. There were 4 seasons of this show.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
I wonder. Yep.
So I chose one season in particular because they
Okay.
were all different seasons, and that is Channel Zero, The No End House.
Oh, that was good. Yep.
I liked all. Butcher Block was probably my least favorite of the
I
4
didn't
seasons.
enjoy that one.
But this show
All
to
the
me,
meat eating and weirdness,
Yeah.
it just grossed me out.
but the No End House had such a great story and a great concept of trying to become free, and
it made me cry. Like
a lot.
That
I
one.
Very
cried a
emotional,
lot
yeah.
during that season. The dad,
Yeah,
like,
well,
it was-
I lost my dad.
and she
so
lost her father,
that-
and so that definitely
that
made
kind
it.
of stuff always
Yeah.
impacts me a little differently.
Yeah.
And that's one of those ones that the No End House just kept me at the edge of my seat. Where what was the other one with
With the twin boys.
the twin boys? Was a good one.
In-house.
They had the teeth,
We saw that in-house.
What was that?
the
one?
teeth monster one. But anyway, off topic.
They
They were all good, but if I had to choose one from that series, I would choose the No End House. I think that was
I
my
agree.
personal favorite
Yeah.
of the bunch.
I like the Dream Door one too, with the imaginary friend.
Yeah, that one was good.
He was a creepy looking guy.
Cove, something Cove, Treasure
Oh
Cove.
yeah,
Treasure Cove was the one I was thinking of, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the No End House in that one. What about you, my love? What comes in at number 6 for you?
Six is Midnight Mass.
Ooh.
At first it was kind of slow moving, with the exception of like the beginning scene where
Mhm.
Riley Flynn had his accident. That was pretty
Oh, yeah.
pretty crazy. And sometimes the dialogue of it, like they just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
But other than that, like the last couple of episodes especially were so powerful, and they just brought it all together, and a lot of blood drawn, and just I don't know, I really enjoyed especially the last episode. I think it made the whole series for me awesome. So
I will say that Mike Flanagan, one of the best things he's ever done was the rowboat scene. With Riley.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
that was
Yep.
heartbreaking and amazing.
I brought you out here to show
Yeah.
to keep
And
you
it's
safe.
Yes.
and the scene in the house too.
Oh yes, I seen talking
Yes.
to him in the house. Yeah. Oh, that was powerful.
Yeah,
Great
so
choice.
That's my number 6.
What about you, Matt? What comes in at number 6 for you, brother?
Black Mirror.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah. I don't know why, but there's so many episodes that I keep thinking about still, and it's been like a couple of years since I've like watched anything from that. The storytelling I think is above a lot of stuff, even some movies. I hope I'm saying this right, but San Junipero is probably one of the best episodes of a television show that I've ever seen. Not specifically horror, but that episode sticks out to me. But then the rest of the series is amazing, and its ability to make you think, like beyond the show and what it's saying is great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Kira?
Okay, so my number 6 I put in again, people might attack me for this, but I'm only highlighting the very first season, although I've seen every season and I'm glad that it gets to continue. But Stranger Things season 1 for me was the best season, and that is my number 6. I feel like it was so well done, it could have just been standalone. They didn't even have to make any additional series. The Duffer Brothers, love them. Twins, so a bonus. I love just the atmosphere of it, like set in the 80s, everything about it, from the friendship, Winona Ryder, seeing her
Yes.
again as Joy Spires.
Yeah.
The music, the soundtrack, the intro, the acting, the camaraderie between the friends, everything about that series I absolutely loved. But for me, the standout was season 1.
Well, and I'm going to say this as probably the oldest person here. I think I've got a couple years on all of you.
Oh,
But-
I don't know, Ken.
I'm
Very deceiving. How
Yes, they're very
I don't know,
deceiving.
we are.
Okay, well, I didn't know that I had a whole bunch of fucking what was it called?
Benjamin Button.
Yeah, Benjamin Buttons here. But we all grew up right around the same time in the 80s and 90s, and so I think that Stranger Things really hits a nostalgia note for us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like watching Stranger Things for me was like watching a mix between Alien, Stand By Me, and The Goonies. You know,
Right.
like that's how I felt. You know, like a
Yeah, it
coming
was
of
brand
age
new
horror.
nostalgia.
So
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
I got a very, very strong feeling.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about Stranger Things here in a little bit.
Walkie talkies. We had walkie talkies, so that was like
Yes.
on the scene with the walkie talkies. Yes, yeah.
Well, no,
I couldn't afford walkie-talkies, so my mom gave me some bean cans and a string.
Yeah.
She's like, walkie-talkie, you can walk your ass back to your bedroom, and I'll talk to you from there, you son of a bitch. Go to bed.
we don't have any
Yeah, we had
friends.
different color ones.
Yeah.
Ours was pink, so we had the walkie-talkies and they were the color. So it was like, yeah.
I think my mom knew if I buy this asshole walkie-talkies, one, all I'm going to hear all day is,
Oh,
and two, I will never have batteries in my television remote.
oh,
Because
yes,
Cole will take them for his walkie-talkies.
yes.
Great choice there. So now, Mika, we're up to your number 6.
Okay, so I picked Yellow Jackets for number
New
6.
show?
Okay.
Yes. So it's on Showtime. It was the newest series. Last year I think it premiered.
Yes,
2021.
Finished up this season.
Yeah. So I kind of say it's kind
That was a
of
good one.
Lost meets Alive meets
Oh,
Lord of the Flies
Flies,
a little
yeah.
bit, all kind of mixed into one. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but really new take on the show. Is a lot of subplots like genres going on. So there's a little bit of horror, folklore, mystery, drama, all into one. And the premise is it basically follows a high school female soccer team who the plane crashes, and kind of how they deal with living in the wilderness. And you got frenemies who don't really like each other. And at the same time, it's showing some of the survivors as adults at the same time. So it's really, really cool. Great cast. Juliette Lewis, Christina Ricci. Just awesome.
It kind of sounds like what's that book?
Lord of the Flies, but
Lord of the Flies. Yes, that's what I
Yeah,
was
it's a
thinking. I was
different,
thinking,
but
well, the boys
it's
on the island.
it's
That's-
really
Exactly,
different. It's
yeah.
really different, Ken. Yeah, it's really
Okay.
good. It's just a different take.
I'm definitely willing to check it out. I
Yeah.
love Lord of the
Yeah.
Flies. I could love Lord of the Fly apps.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm
Yeah.
down with it.
Yeah.
So that is everybody's number 6. Let us catch up on the chat real quick. Scream Queens was good too. Loved how campy it was. I agree. Very pretty, good looking ladies. Love your energy. I'm assuming he's talking about me. Black Mirror overall, each episode is good. More than a few stand out with great and genuine scary. I love Murder, She Wrote, but I wouldn't call it horror. I love watching the show with my dad and laughing at the absurdity. My number 6 is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
That's a great
I want to
series.
watch that.
Oh, it's excellent. I like that too. It was a dark twist to it. Yeah.
If we're including mentions, why not the show You got? I've never watched You.
Oh, she watched that.
I
haven't
watched you as
that.
well. It brings back our Victoria Pedretti. Yes, in season
The
2.
only reason I know that You is a TV show is because every time I try to type in YouTube and I just hit You and then enter, it brings that up. I'm like, oh, You.
I haven't watched that.
Season 2,
Oh, yes.
No End House is also my favorite. I love the relationship between the two girls and the dad stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, Ben, so good. Pretzel Jack. Yes, Pretzel Jack.
He was so creepy.
Oh, and the thing.
Oh, yeah.
I also loved the sort of spin-off of the. You know what? The Haunting Hour was, exactly, scarier for older children. My son introduced us to Stephen King, or R.L. Stein's Stephen King. Good Lord, R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour, and I remember the first episode I watched. I was like, "Damn, this is actually kind of scary." Like, what the fuck are you watching, kid? But yeah, absolutely. The dialogue was Flanagan flexing for sure. Yes, it was in the Midnight Mass. Candle Cove, not Treasure Cove. Candle
Oh,
Cove.
Candle Cove.
Good
Yeah.
call,
We love
man.
Candle Cove. Yeah.
Fox Kids, buddy represent. I don't know if this is really considered horror, but it has some horror adjacent tones, and I love season 1 of True Detective.
I would say
Excellent.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I would
Yes.
say so.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I would say True Detective
excellent.
season. Yeah.
Every season was
Uncle
good with
Bill.
the first season.
Hey, Mud,
Uncle
I've
Bill
got your
was a
back,
huge
man.
fan.
Guilty. I've got your back, Mud.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, it is.
Ashley and I are in sync because my number 6 is Santa Clarita Diet.
Nice.
Timothy and the rest of the cast were amazing, but Drew Barrymore stole and devoured my heart in that series. I was angry when it got canceled.
I was too. I was
Oh,
petitioning. Petition.
I woke up to
Giant.
Ashley like, guess what happened, Ken?
I was like, you need to sign this.
Right? Is it divorce? Just sign it. Haunting Hour was cool. He had Dead Time Stories too. Entire History of You was my favorite Black Mirror episode. Okay, enough honorable mentions. My number 10 is Channel Zero, Candle Cove, not Treasure Cove, as Ken said, because he's a stupid idiot. I enjoyed it, but not as good as the other shows on my list. I love the Stranger Things theme. I learned how to play it on guitar.
Yes.
I just started to hate that theme because I'd just be in the bedroom like,
Yeah, I love how that comes on.
Yes.
That's the
Perfect.
best.
Yeah.
I also think the pacing was weird or something that season 1. The acting was honestly cringe sometimes, but it was fun enough. My Shudder subscription ended before I could watch the other seasons. Oh, the other seasons are so good.
Yeah.
Since we talk in TV, does It miniseries? See,
Oh.
that's a hard one.
I
If you
put it
want
on
to put the It
movies.
miniseries on there, I can't say no.
Well, you could, because it did come
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that counts.
But I say no.
It doesn't matter if he says
Yeah, nobody gives a shit what I say. Yellow Jackets is great. Well, if J-Dev likes it, I'm sure I would, because me and J-Dev are pretty in sync. He's a very good dude, and I think me and him think a lot alike. So I'm gonna have to check this out. Mine's number 9 is American Horror Stories, which is cool. My friend Michael Cologne worked on it. I'm so proud of you, Michael, if you're watching this at any point, dude. Like, he was a script supervisor on American Horror Stories, and he told me, you got to watch this. It's so good, and we loved it. We loved American Horror Stories. Yellow Jackets is awesome. Should have put it on my list. Did you guys see they're doing a Teen Wolf Show reunion movie for Peacock? I did see that, and I'm really excited. Isn't Yellow Jackets a spinoff or sequel or something? That I don't know. Is Yellow Jackets?
No,
a spinoff or
it
something?
isn't, but it's gotten a lot of comparison because of to Lord of the Flies in terms of
But,
the
yeah,
stranded, but it's really
standalone.
standalone, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Robin says, I really like Scream Queens. For real, it actually so creeps me out a little bit, especially that damn opening title. Which one was that, Maya? That was American Horror Stories. Yep.
Yeah.
Blood Drive. It was a show on Sci-Fi that was like
Oh, I heard
Bloody or
of
Mad
it.
Max. Never seen that one either.
I never seen it.
So-
Yeah, I heard of that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, we are up to number 5, and that is you, my love.
Okay, number 5 for me is The Walking Dead. I know. Okay, so the reason it's number 5, middle of the road. Stop. Put your jaw back up. Is we kind of fell off after season like 8, 7. Was it 7 or 8? I don't know. But we were diehard fans for this for 7 or 8 years. Like every Sunday, I know you just canceled me on there. That's fine. Every Sunday, we had like a group of people over at our house, and we like would watch it every single Sunday for 7 or 8 years. And then when they killed off Carl, sorry, I don't know if that's spoiling. And then
Matt starts crying.
I
They
know.
killed Carl!
I know.
after that, and then Rick left. It was just like
I feel you, Ashley.
Yeah.
it's like, I guess it is what it is. Like, it's the same old. But the first, 7 seasons.
Oh, it's
were-
number 5, but the first 8 seasons were fantastic.
They were. And like,
No,
we literally
I feel
were
you.
the people that watched it from day one. The first day that it came out, and we loved it. And then after that, we were just like, we always watched it every Sunday at, what was it, like 9 or 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
9 o'clock tonight.
I feel you, Ashley. Yeah, it was just those investments, and they taking your people out.
I
Yeah.
remember.
Like,
I
you
looked to
can't take them all. Like, you gotta leave some of them. Like,
Yeah.
freaking Carl. Like, once they left, it was kind of done for me.
I don't like the
Yeah.
fact that all the women are teaming up on me right now.
Yeah.
That was like too much for the heart to take. They
Uh-huh.
killed 2 of my characters, and I was like, go on.
Yeah,
Never looked back.
I stayed longer than Kira. After her characters went, it was like, I'm
I'm
out.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kira was like, my characters were the little girl and Morgan. I was going after that.
No, it was like losing your freaking family or
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yep.
All right, Matt, you want to give us your number 5, brother?
I'm going with Stranger Things for number 5.
Hmm.
I love the throwback to like, it's so weird to have like brand new nostalgia for the 80s, you know. That's like an oxymoron, but they nailed it. So it was really awesome seeing that stuff again. And then for me, I'm a little opposite. I think season 3 is like the best one. I really loved how this season unfolded, and it wasn't like season 2. My issue was that it was the same monster pretty much, you know, but this reminded me of The Thing, like how it formed together, what it was made out of, and it just was so much more terrifying to me. And then you get to the finale of season 3, and it's just this massive firework display inside a mall, and I was blown away with like what I was seeing on the screen for a Netflix show. So I was really impressed with season 3. So because for me, season 2, I was like, I think I'm out. I think I'm just I don't really care anymore. You know? So season 3 brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
I might agree. I might not have it on my list. We'll find out.
Completely off the list, perhaps.
What about you, Kira? What comes in at number 5 for you?
Okay, so I don't know if anyone has heard of this series. It's also on Netflix right now. It is French, but please watch it in French. Do not do the overdub English subtitles. That is the worst. Marion, the scariest thing I have ever seen in a long while. It is literally about a horror novelist who writes this scary character, Marion, just to come to find that perhaps Marion exists in real life, and having to go back to her town in order to save people that she cares about. Extremely scary, literally to a point where I had the lights on to go to sleep. And I have not been that terrified in quite a long time. If you have not seen it, do not let it scare you in terms of subtitles. It is very much worth the watch. I believe it's only 6 episodes, maybe 8, but it's excellent.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah.
If you
We'll have to check
Yeah,
that one out.
I'll check it out.
the top of your list.
That's a good one.
All right, what about you, Mika?
Okay, so I had this a little bit higher, and I know it was some people honorable mentions, but I put, because you know I love a good anthology, I put American Horror Story. And what I would say for American Horror Story, I put it because I think when that came out, it kind of, redefined kind of the horror TV series. And you saw a lot of horror shows come out after that. And I really just love what Ryan Murphy did with that anthology series. To me, the notable ones are Murder House, Asylum, Skip, Coven, skip. And then you have Apocalypse, and you do a couple more skips. But those are the staples for me. And I just, the cast, we love, one of my favorite actresses is Jessica Lange, so that cast, another favorite, Angela Bassett.
Sarah
The
Paulson.
group of young actors is just, like Tahisa Farmiga, just awesome.
That's
So
right.
I'm going to go with that for my number 5.
Oh, wow.
We just had a talk about how we think that Kathy Bates should play Mrs. Voorhees in a Friday the 13th remake.
I'll watch it. Kathy Bates
I
can
think she would
be in
kill
anything.
that role, man.
Yeah.
So number 5 for me is probably going to be lower than what people anticipated it being for me, but damn it, there's only been 1 season. So number 5 for me is Chucky. While this is my favorite horror franchise out there, I've only seen 1 season. The 1 season I've seen catapulted it all the way up to number 5. I love the show. The cast was great. My boy Devin Sawa was in it. The guy on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
The young cast was great. Seeing a lot of the Easter eggs. I could have done with a little bit more Child's Play 3. God, man, insane. Remember that for next season. But yeah, I really, really did very, very much enjoy the Chucky TV series. I'm very glad we're getting a season 2. I'm very excited to see where we go from here. So who was that lady at the cemetery? So I really want to know some of these answers. So for me, number 5 is Child's Play. Now
I have to watch it.
I have not seen it. I didn't spoil anything purposely. I did have some spoilers written down, but once you said you didn't see it, I cut them out. This is Ashley being canceled for having The Walking Dead solo. I agreed, Dev.
He would have canceled me.
I agreed to the point where I spelled it out.
Did you spell it right?
He can't. He comes from me at 10.
Oh wow. Oh my god.
I got bored. I was like CANC87 exclamation point. So Maya says, okay, my number 8 is a Scream TV show. It's probably one of the most technically bad shows on my list, but the reason it's higher than 10 is because once again I had fun watching it and laughing. Fight for it, Ashley. Ken's a hater.
Thank you.
Don't encourage her, Cal.
I will fight for it. I will.
Marianne on Netflix. It's a show that gave me the creeps for sure, and for most of the run. It didn't stick the ending, but one of the few shows that gave me the chills.
Mm-hmm.
Maya said, with my dad, if you can't tell, I have a lot of memories watching TV with him. That's what dads are for, to create memories and love you.
That's
so
awesome.
enjoy that.
Absolutely enjoy it.
Chandler Riggs Carl wasn't that great of an actor anyway. He did improve it. Listen, you show me.
Wow.
You show me one child actor that can eat chocolate pudding on a roof as good as Chandler. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Is that how you quantify it? If this is
Yep.
That's a good child actor because of that.
Yep. Until I watch you sit on a roof and eat chocolate pudding.
Pudding?
For you.
Wow.
Olsen twins my ass.
Fair enough.
Number 5, Midnight Grindhouse presents Blood Drive on Sci-Fi. I would have liked those season 2. It had potential. 5, Buffy. Buffy is get the fook. Who the fook is that guy? It's Bill, guys. He's here. 1990s Outer Limits top 5.
Whoa, that's a great
Number
one.
5, Netflix is You.
Awesome.
Ken Bentley as Joe is one of the best characters of all time. Victoria Peretti's addition in later seasons was a great bonus for my appeal. My
Love
sister and I are
Queen.
obsessed with that show.
Yes, she plays Love Quinn.
Shut the fuck up, Bill. Got to go in a few, Jay. Here's my top 5. 5, The Terror. 4, Tales from the Crypt. 3, American Horror Story. 2, The Walking Dead. 1, Tales from the Dark Side. From the opening score to cheesy effects, this show shook me as a kid. Tales from the Dark Side is great. I did love the movie more than the show, though. I got to say that.
The Terror was excellent. I agree with him with The Terror. AMC,
Yeah.
that was great. Yep.
I hope we get something in 2022. So I've been haunting a blind man. As you know, I love Flanagan, so I'm pretty much always going to enjoy. The only reason it's a bit low because it wasn't very scary. I like the show Slasher. The first couple seasons are on Netflix, and the newest one is on Shudder.
Hoping to use it in
That lesbian storyline. Thank you, Mike Flanagan, for blessing me with the cottage care relationship of my dreams. For sure.
There's a love story.
Jamie and
A
Jamie.
child, see, thank you. A child actor isn't good unless they know how to properly eat
The snack.
Oh my goodness.
on a roof
When you don't have food,
with a comically oversized spatula spoon.
I mean, you do with what you got.
Norrin, Midnight Mass blew me away. Much more subtle horror, but loved it. Yeah, I love Midnight Mass. I had it on the list until I realized I was an idiot and forgot Mr. Mercedes. So now we're going to go to number 4, and this is Mika starting us off.
Okay, so I put, as everyone's talked about it before, but I have Stranger Things as number 4. You know, love the show. I'm kind of like my sister with like because season 1, you know, was the ultimate supreme, and like Matt after 2, I was going to be like, okay, you're losing me. But you know, 3 did redeem itself. So I think the show, you guys have said great things about it already. Great show, great young cast. Love the resurgence of our girl Winona. We stand her forever. And I'm just happy and looking forward to seeing what they do in season 4. So
yeah,
Stranger Things.
They can either do well,
make a break.
That's a great choice. So number 4 for me, The Haunting of Hill House. This is a show that I love for so many different reasons, whether it's the cast, the twist. The biggest thing for me was Oliver Jackson Cohen, who played Luke.
Luke.
Watching his journey from, you know, being the addict to finally being able to overcome that. And as someone that's, you know, been in recovery and kicked addiction, watching him is hard because you feel what he's feeling when he's so cold, but he can't be under a blanket because it burns him. Like when you are so scared to leave your room because of what you might go out and do. And he is a phenomenal actor that does not get the credit, whether it's this. He was great in Bly Manor. He was great as the villain in The Invisible Man.
And he's a very handsome guy.
Oh, so handsome.
Oh yeah.
I wish he was addicted to me. But yeah, it's one of those things where I just absolutely adored The Haunting of Hill House. It's one of those shows that I knew going in that Mike Flanagan was helming it, and I was super excited because Mike Flanagan is my favorite director today.
Yep.
Everything he touches is gold. I
I
mean, the guy can
agree.
take, even when it comes to film, he could take a movie that was dog shit like Ouija and make a sequel, Ouija Origins of Evil, and make
Make it a
good.
masterpiece.
So,
Yes, enjoyable to
Yes.
watch.
so I mean, Flanagan's fantastic. The Haunting of Hill House was absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
So that's my number 4. What about you, my love?
My number 4 is Chucky.
Oh, a lot of Chucky on this list.
So you gotta watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely love this show. I love the cast. I loved how Fiona Dorff played her dad. Like, I thought that was so awesome. And what?
I was going to talk about that, but I didn't want to spoil it for Kira.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I'm
Sorry.
this is spoiling it.
Don't worry,
No,
Ashley.
you're fine. Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna watch it still.
The cinematography was great, and I don't know. I'm not going to say much more. I don't want to spoil anything else.
Oh, you guys, yes, the only one who hasn't watched
you
it.
definitely got to watch it. I think that you
Okay.
like it.
And please text us after and let us
Yes.
know.
Oh, we'll
'cause I'm
do.
so
Yes,
excited.
yes.
People may or may not know. I mean, people that watch the channel religiously know Chucky Child's Play is my favorite horror franchise of all time.
Yeah.
So, we went into this so excited, and it never skipped a beat to me.
And I'm really
Oh,
excited
yeah.
for the next season. I'm
Yeah.
glad that there's going to be another one. So.
Me too. You're so pretty.
Yeah.
I really want to know what you think of it, Kira. So please let us know.
Yes,
what you
we'll
think.
do. Yes, now I'm getting. I must watch it.
I'll get
now.
on it. I'll
Yes.
get on it.
So number 4, we are now to Matt, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, my 4th pick is Hannibal.
Ooh, oh,
The adversarial relationship between Hannibal Lecter and Will Graham that
Oh,
creates so much tension,
mhm.
and then having to deal with someone who is really close to not having a grasp on reality.
Right.
It's really interesting, and that dynamic sets up like the pace for the rest of the show, and I just thought it was really
So
impressive.
great. Yep.
But then there's there's also these other serial killers that do a lot of really horrific things.
Mhm.
And the one that made my jaw drop was the one where it was 20 bodies or something, and they were all tied together in a totem pole on the
Oh.
beach.
Yes.
I was like, what the hell am I looking at? It was so terrifying, but it was like that every episode. And
Right.
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then the fact that it was on NBC or CBS.
I know.
I was like, is this all can we be watching this right now?
And they
Yeah,
had-
I was really impressed by it.
Yeah.
Very
That
good.
was a nice all-star cast there too. You saw
Mhm.
Gillian Anderson was his psychiatrist in that, Dr.
Lawrence
Delia?
Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne, yeah.
Yeah. It was
So
amazing.
you haven't seen that. She
No.
hasn't watched Hannibal. I've been trying to get her to
sorry for the
watch
spoilers.
that. Oh no, it's okay. No.
Okay, for the rest of the episode, guys, there may be spoilers because nothing.
I know. I'm sitting here like I'm an ass.
Sorry,
Um,
sorry.
It's funny
fine.
because as you were saying that, Ashley was like, "See, someone else spoiled something." Didn't Okay. So, what about you, Kira? What's your number 4?
Oh, so my number 4 is Mike Flanagan, Haunting of Bly Manor. I absolutely love this series. I know it wasn't technically considered very scary to most, but I liked it. I felt it was more like a gothic horror. I think it combined the haunting and romance genre quite well. I
Yeah.
love that they actually had familiar faces in the series. Victoria Pedretti again was so heartwarming in her role as Danny. I love the entire cast. Tia Miller, who played Hannah. Just everyone's conviction to their roles. And Kate Siegel, the episode of the origin story about the haunting. I think that was one of the best episodes prior to the last one, where you truly understand why Bly Manor is haunted. But I think it was very excellent, love story, unrequited love. I thought it was beautifully done.
It was, yeah.
It-
The guy, the glowing glass guy.
Oh, yes,
he was
Danny
so
Fiance.
scary looking.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yep.
Yeah, her.
Yes, we find out
her
what that is. Yeah.
boyfriend.
Well, her like fiance, but she didn't really. Love
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the rejection gone awry.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. So what about you? Mika?
Perfectly
What comes to number four for
splendid.
you? You still with us?
Yes, I said it was perfectly splendid. I had to add
Oh,
that.
Oh,
yeah.
perfectly splendid.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Mika, you want to give us your number 4? Oh God!
What?
Now we're thinking perfectly splendid all goddamn night.
I
Was
love
that
that
number
though.
four?
It's perfectly splendid.
Splendid. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I did it. Did I do number 4?
I think you did.
I did.
you? Yes, I think you did.
What? Mika started number 4.
Yeah, started.
Okay. So now let's catch up on the chat before we go to number 3. Jay says much love. Take care, buddy. Awesome, buddy. We
Yeah.
miss you. Number 4, What We Do in the Shadows. Funny vampire single camera comedy that always cheers me up.
Yeah.
Jay says number 4 for me is You. Lewis, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Number 4, Sky Rojo. It's on Netflix. It's like a grindhouse TV show.
Okay.
Back from the dead. My boys had COVID for a while. I'm glad to see you're back on your feet and doing good.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
it's scary, man.
It really is.
It's funny that just because politicians say it's over, it's not.
Mhm.
Maya, now my number 6. I'm almost caught up to you guys. That would be Midnight Mass, another Flanagan banger. It also hits closer to home because I grew up going to a Catholic school. Yeah, I get that. Number 4, Chucky TV series. Very unexpected announcement when it came, but I love, so glad all these characters from the films came back because the new characters were great. The story and the kills were amazing.
Mhm.
Chucky is my fave. Can't argue it. But
Yeah.
for me, it's just with one scene, I got to see more to see if it consistently holds up. Maya says she loves how Flanagan uses real Bible verses to show how easy you can take what they say and manipulate them to fit your own situations or ideas. Even a vampire can make it seem legit.
Mhm.
What's up, caveman? Make sure you use that force to smash that like button. This is the way. I mean, we just got to follow the rules, guys.
Yes, exactly.
You were right, Ken. Cancel Ashley. She's spoiling Chucky.
I
I also have a bit lower because it took me longer to get into it, even though I enjoyed it. I still finished the final episode crying. I desperately need to do that. Oh, you haven't finished?
Wow. Okay,
Ooh,
no
yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah,
to the
gotta
best.
check that out.
Wait for Chuckle for what?
No, for Midnight Mass.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, the last episode was the best.
Oh,
Mads?
definitely. Mads Mikkelsen is who I see when I think of Hannibal Lecter.
Oh,
Mhm.
nailed
I
it.
agree.
Yep.
Never watched Dexter. Is that considered horror? I mean,
Oh, I would say yes.
it's definitely
Well,
horror
yeah, I think we
adjacent.
put it in there.
Yeah, horror just I said.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I put it in there. Yeah.
Maya says number 5. Hopefully my typing fingers don't fall off before the stream ends. Number 5 is American Horror Story. Obviously, it's a staple in the genre, and even though it has quite a few hit or misses. What do you guys think of Ghost on CBS/Paramount? I haven't
Oh,
seen
I have
it.
not seen it.
There.
I didn't even know they were remaking that. I haven't seen it. Is it a TV series
I guess it
of the
is.
original movie? I don't know.
Much like Chris Jericho, it just made the list.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to check that out. I still enjoyed it. I've never binged a show so quick. Honestly, my favorite season is Good Old Murder House, of course.
Mhm.
I loved it so much I got it on DVD. My mom also used to watch it when I was little. Everybody's saying hello because we're all friendly. All right, so now we are going to go to our number 3, and this will be Matt starting us off at number 3.
I put this really high on my list, but it's another one I grew up with, and that's Tales from the Crypt. From the opening sequence, like where that camera's going down the stairs and the creepy music to the crypt keeper laughing. It's like, it reminds me of what Halloween should be. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I get sucked into it, and it's like I could just watch them day in and day out, like all the episodes. There's some pretty bad ones in there, you know, for sure. But it's still one of those things that I always love. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why they haven't put that on Blu-ray yet. You know, or at the very minimum, why is it not on HBO Max?
Right.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know,
I remember as a kid, Friday nights, we would watch Tales from the Crypt and Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh, Rescue Diaries. Throwback.
I got to see boobies, you know, so of course I was in. So it's funny how these things, you know, you think about them as an adult and you're like, how the hell did I get away with that?
Oh, yeah.
But, and it was funny because we had like HBO for us then was channel 21, and we didn't have a subscription, so it was so fuzzy. Like we were like stealing it from someone else. Like, I think that's a nipple. Damn it, it's an elbow. So What about you, Kira? What comes in at number 3?
So my number 3 is Mike Flanagan, and it's The Haunting of Hill House. So that's number 3 for me, for all of the reasons that have already been mentioned. I specifically love the parallels. So the juxtaposition between the siblings and the family when they were younger in the house versus to them living like their full lives in the present. My favorite characters were that played by Nell and Luke, both as children and as adults. I think they were the most greatly impacted by the house, honestly, outside of Carla Gugino's character. I think it was Olivia, the mom. But I thought the writing was exceptional. And I very much loved how you came to find out that the room was different things for each person. But excellent, exceptional. And again, the cast was great. So that's my number 3 choice.
How fucking scary was the bent neck lady, man?
Yes, and the fact that I don't want to spoil it, but when you figure out who the bent neck lady was, it's so tragic.
Like, what? Yeah.
When you see who the bent neck lady was, I was like, Mr. Flanagan, did you?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Oh, and also,
I completely agree.
Yeah, do you guys remember the other scene in that was scary to me? The Luke's, the bowler hat. Tall man. That was scary to me as well. Yeah.
When he was talking about how he's seen him in the hallway working on the clock.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, don't move.
Yeah, a lot of jump scares in that too. Yeah. I agree with Matt. That first scene was scary. Yes, we literally jumped.
One with Nell.
That one was,
yes.
That one got me for sure.
We screamed. Yeah.
Audible
gas.
Yes, definitely did.
Yeah.
So what about you, Mika? What's number 3 for you?
Okay, so my number 3 is Lovecraft Country on HBO. So great show. Unfortunately, hopefully it'll get picked up. We just learned that it's not going to be renewed for a second season. But awesome shows created by Misha Green, produced by Jordan Peele. Great cast. Jonathan Myers, Journey Smollett, Courtney B. Vance. I just love this show because, first of all, the title Lovecraft, if people aren't familiar, H.P. Lovecraft was known for, being quite overtly racist in his writings. And I love that the show kind of, subverts that and kind of does their own kind of twist on it because it uses, these characters in Jim Crow America, and kind of looking at like the real monsters. You have those, Lovecraft elements with the monsters with the tentacles and like the creepy New England villages, but really kind of looking at the real monsters where racism or elements of like police brutality. So I just really love the show. Very well done, and I hope it gets picked up for a second season
by somebody. Yeah.
Well, what you just said, something horror has always been ahead of the curve when it comes to social issues and pointing out social issues. Whether it's in movies, TV shows, it doesn't matter. Horror has always been in the forefront of this is a fucking issue, and we're going to talk about it. And if you don't like it, we'll put you in the movie and cut your eyes out. So I love the fact that, we've even talked about so much as The People Under the Stairs. Tales from the Hood, one of my all-time favorite movies. These movies have all, because one thing that Ashley and I both fucking hate is how if you like something new that has a message, it's woke horror. Candyman, the original, was the same thing, right? Back in the early 90s. So read a fucking book and learn a lesson because woke horror has been horror since 1968's Night of the Living Dead. So learn something here. So I love the fact that you added that in there because horror is so inclusive, and colorblind, and love blind, and religion blind. We just, we want to be scared, and we want to see you get your arms ripped off. I don't give a fuck how hard you are.
Or stabbed. It doesn't matter.
We'll watch it. We're equal opportunity killers.
That's why it's one of my favorite genres. That's why it's one of my favorite genres.
Okay, so what about you, Mika?
We both went. Did I do mine?
We both went.
It's your
yes, we did. Yes. I had to think about it for a minute. I think I did. Yes.
We're at number 3, right?
We're at number 3.
Yes.
It's your turn.
I got all messed up in here.
I see.
So my number 3 is Groovy, and it is Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Nice.
Okay.
I Evil Dead is something so special to me.
Classic though.
I mean, this is my boomstick. Shop smart, shop smart. You got that. And the show was brilliant. Like I said, the only reason it's not number one is the ending.
Yeah.
The ending really upset me. When this got the Blu-ray release, we were there to get it day of. I mean, that's how much this show meant to us. And the inclusion of Lucy Lawless is so fucking phenomenal. Ray Santiago was great in it. It's one of the shows that made me laugh, made me cry, made me jump. It had everything to me. And it was one of those shows that I could go back and rewatch numerous times. And I could find something new to adore about it every single time. So number 3 for me, Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Nice.
What about you, my love?
So funny enough, mine is also Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. For all the reasons that you said.
Right.
I love Bruce Campbell. I love Kelly and Pablo and their friendship, and it's so fun. The humor hits home. Love the gore of it all, and I was sad when it got canceled, though. Well, and you didn't get the closure, like how it ended. It just was not.
And I love the fact that Pablo, Ray Santiago, was a member of the LGBT community, and his inclusion as a straight man chasing Kelly was fantastic. They went and they were like, you know what? We don't care if he's gay or straight. We're going to cast the best actor for this part.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
And Ray Santiago absolutely killed it as Pablo.
He did
Killed
phenomenal.
it. Loved it. So I agree with you. So Matt, you started that one, right?
Well, I'm sorry, say that again?
You started at number 3, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so we will catch up on the chat, then we will get to our number 2s. Maya's talking about when her mom used to watch American Horror Story, used to build it up in my mind as a horrific program that was giving my adult mother nightmares. So that's awesome. Ghost Whisperer is my show.
Oh,
Is Jennifer Love Hewitt?
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, her husband died, and she can talk to him.
She can talk to the ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
She makes them go
just pass on.
Yeah.
Help their unfinished business, like Casper. Number 3, as previously mentioned, The Strain. I knew that was going to be up here, J-Deb. I thought it was going to be number 2, to be honest. Ghost is pretty funny. It's a comedy show about ghost haunting this mansion as a young couple moves into. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Gotta check
Ben
that
says
out.
number 3, Stranger Things. I can see myself revisiting the show a decade from now.
Yep.
Tales, The Best Man. Yeah, there are no bad ones. Yeah, Tales from the Hood. Yeah, or Tales from the Crypt. I'm sorry. Yeah, very good. I have Tales from the Crypt box set. There was a Tales from the Crypt Saturday morning cartoon, Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
I'm like, I forgot about that till just now.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good one.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's a good one.
I think Apple TV has Tales, big rights issue that M. Night shows basically the new Tales from the Crypt show. He couldn't use the name, so he changed it. I remember hearing that. M. Night,
Oh, I think it's a servant. No, that's not it, right? Servant? Is that
it's
the one?
something like that.
Yeah, I think it's servant, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Maya's number 4, Creep Show season 1. Come to think of it, I should probably have switched it with an American Horror Story. It took me a while to finally watch, but it just kills it all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Who's heard the Crypt Keeper rap? I will after this is over. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. That'll be one to hear.
A single night. I wish my Shudder subscription didn't end before I could watch the other seasons. Just get a new one. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Use somebody else's email.
Yeah.
No, yeah. New try.
Ben Grimm Ben Grimm, son of a bitch. The Crypt Keeper has a Christmas CD too. I gotta hear
Oh,
that.
wow. Okay.
Wow.
Shaim, originally The Walking Dead was going to take 3rd place, but I placed that higher since it impacted my life. My second favorite childhood, number 3, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Number 3,
Oh, Masters of Horror. That's a good one,
Upstairs,
yeah.
overrated. Number 3, Eli Roth's History of Horror. I don't know if this counts. Oh, absolutely it counts.
Oh, it
It's
does
so much
count.
fun.
Yeah.
Paley's Twilight Zone. I have not.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Jordan
yes.
Peele.
Just one season, I think, it got canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Really?
see it.
Yes.
Yep.
CBS, I think.
Yep. My dad also teach me about, the history of horror, of course. Such a fun time. Also, the guests they have. Goes to the TV series can't be Horror TV, typical Whoopi Goldberg or Ricky Gervais syndrome, where the only people they can hear. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, okay.
Shows people just say, BS guy argued with me. Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone is woke. See, the Twilight Zone has always been woke, you idiot. Like that's the shit that pisses me off, man.
Yeah.
I feel like the original Twilight Zone tackled really
A lot
hardcore
of
issues.
race,
Yep.
financial, like everything. And
Yes. Yep.
we had people, one, tell me that they didn't like the new Candyman because it was woke, and it blew my fucking mind. I was like, have you seen the original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
I
great.
know. Look at the original, the message in there.
Yeah.
There's literally a part in the original where Helen says black people are killed in Cabrini Green every day and nothing happens when a white woman gets attacked and the police are there in 20 minutes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Look at that. True. Yeah.
Like, come on, man, fucking get with the program here. Like, this is not hard to understand. But I was not a huge fan of the Candyman movie, the new one, 2022 or 2021, as a horror movie. And I said that as a film.
I know
like
you
it.
just mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I was accused of being racist. Like, oh, you didn't like he was a black guy. I was like,
Jeez.
Wow.
I
Wow.
think you know who I am as a human being.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think you know my family and the connection.
Oh,
You know, like,
wow.
it's these little things. Like, if I don't like a movie, it has nothing. I didn't really like 8 Mile. I fucking love Eminem.
Oh,
I grew up,
that's
you know,
very
I'm-
well done.
I'm
Yeah,
this
but I
guy.
say, isn't that the great thing that not everyone is going to like the same movies?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone is going to find enjoyment in different aspects. That's the great thing
Yeah.
about it.
Like viewing film in general.
Difference
Yeah.
of opinion.
Yeah.
You know? Yep.
It's so amazing. Like, God,
Yeah.
you can like something and not like something and still love the message.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
definitely. Yep.
Rocket science.
I know. Take away some. There have been horrible films we've watched and we've taken away a message.
Yeah.
Didn't change
Yeah.
the fact that it was a horrible film.
No.
Yep.
But
Right.
we did take away a message
It's
from
still
it.
horrible.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
but see, and it also, like, there's movies that have there's movies that are really, really, really good movies that I walk away with no message at all.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
That's the
Exactly.
thing about it. Like,
Mhm.
watch art. If you like it, good. If not, someone else is going to love that art. Let them
Oh,
appreciate
definitely.
it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Have 2 number 3s, Masters of Horror and Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Oh, great. Yep.
Um,
Always.
Podcast in the Woods. Sorry, late as usual, editing day. Ash vs. the Evil Dead is my number 1. We're just glad you made it out.
What's up?
Nice. Yep.
Ben says, number 2, Ash vs. the Evil Dead, Podcast in the Woods. I honestly love how it ended. If you think about all the movies ended on a negative cliffhanger, I thought it was fitting. I get it, but I'm selfish and I wanted more.
Yeah, look at that.
Ghost funny for a dead 2000s investor. Ask Ed for a stock update from his timeline. His top performers were Circuit City, Enron, and Blockbuster. That's
wow.
awesome.
Look at that.
Creepshow 2 is even better. I agree. Crypt Keeper listening to his holiday album this Christmas. Better setup. Creeper versus Krueger rap battle.
Oh my gosh.
okay.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so funny. I
They're
know.
complaining like bringing light to racism is a bad thing.
Right.
Gotta talk about the issues.
We have to.
Fucking bullseye. Y'all ain't woke like me.
Oh.
Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone went 2 seasons, and second season is even better. Watch it, twins.
Oh, I've seen it. I
Kira's
watched
seen
it.
it.
I've seen
Kira's
it.
seen
Yes. So I
I'll check
did
it out.
like it. Yeah.
Number 1, Tales from the Crypt. One of my earliest horror experiences, and for a show I look forward to every Friday night. The theme and opening is iconic. Love the Crypt Keeper. I still watch it all the time.
Mhm.
Very good.
Never
So
gets
now we
old.
are up to our number 2. And our number 2 is going to start with Kira.
Ooh. So my number 2 is Midnight Mass, Mike Flanagan. I recall hearing him say like this was his most personal series thus far. I didn't necessarily know this about Mike Flanagan until learning about him, that he himself struggled with addiction.
Mhm.
And so I think that the way he tackled that in the series with the main character was exceptionally well done, and how his ghosts actually followed him throughout, returning to the island in every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thus forward. I actually also liked it too because I think what made it scary was the fact that they were on an island. If that doesn't scare anyone when you have
Yes.
means of escape, that in of itself was scary. And then
Absolutely.
I also felt like it tackled faith very well and how we perceive what we believe in, and then what people do that are is motivated by faith, like sometimes using that as a means to justify evil acts. And then the last thing I'll say about it is when you find out the true evil, so to speak, I almost looked at it to say, no, the evil was actually the human beings.
always.
In regards to using religion to kind of justify the meaning. So well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. One of the episodes ended with one of the best jump scares I've seen in the last 10 years.
Oh,
When you have the angel.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
me and her were on the couch, and one of us went on
Agreed.
a high pitched scream, and I don't know if it was me or her, but I just
Agreed.
remember just. Yeah, that was you, right, babe? I'm pretty sure that was you. That was
Yes, agreed. Yes, it was. And one thing I will say, sorry guys,
No spoiler.
no spoiler.
Okay.
The last thing I will say is we definitely appreciate a slow build.
Mhm.
So sometimes I think people are about fast paced, quick, and that equals good. I love dialogue. I love slow builds. There's a slow burn to it, and I think those are the most satisfying. So I think the memento to the end was done exceptionally well.
For me, it's there's a very thin line between a slow burn and a boring piece of shit.
Right.
Now, like with Midnight Mass, like the way that they built that to have the conclusion that it did, just like like Seven, like you have the slow burn.
Yeah.
And when you can have the conclusion be as amazing as it is, it's
agreed.
worth that slow burn. But then you have
Yeah.
movies like The Exorcist 2, where
We don't talk about
a
that.
Yeah,
slow
we don't
burn.
either. Yeah.
And
One
then
and
right
three.
before the Rick hits the dynamite, it starts raining, and you never get the boom.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you. The slow burn for Midnight Mass, chef's kiss.
Oh, definitely. And you can
Beautifully done.
rewatch it over and over again and pick
Yeah.
up something new every time. Like
Yeah.
I'll definitely rewatch it. Yeah.
I just love the opening sequence. You have what's his name?
Flynn.
Flynn,
Yeah.
Riley Flynn. Yeah.
Riley.
Oh,
Riley.
You have
Yes.
Riley sitting there saying the Lord's Prayer, and the medic's like, "Why don't you ask God why the innocent women always die and the
Oh.
drunk pieces of shit get to live?"
Yeah.
You're like,
true,
Damn.
true. Yeah. Well.
We're getting right into this.
Yeah.
"Oh."
Straight out the
So
gate.
I
yeah.
definitely love
Yeah.
that line right. I mean, I paraphrased a little bit, but
Mhm.
essentially that line is a line that anybody that's lost someone due to a impaired driver has felt.
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
that asshole walking away and my
Yeah.
niece is gone?
Right.
Yeah.
So
And that was among the scariest, the ghost of his victim.
Mhm.
Actually. Yeah.
and that was also one of the most beautiful scenes about the boat. How
Yeah.
she was
Yes.
whole again.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Imagery.
What's your silver medal, Mika?
Oh, so also, not Midnight Mass, but Mike Flanagan. I did The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes. So
Mhm.
to me, we all are raving about Mike Flanagan, but just a masterpiece that show is, you know what I mean, and what it did, like I said, to like just a true horror series.
Yeah.
The atmosphere. I love the dynamic of looking at, you have this haunted house that's tormenting all these individuals, and how when you see these grown children, how that trauma of that house also with the other adult traumas has affected their life. So I love the tie-in between the two, and how the house, which is such a tormentor, is also something that's going to rehabilitate you.
Right.
But I just think it's a beautiful piece of work from finish to end. Cast, writing, just exceptional. So I'm going to go with that as number 2.
Awesome.
Very, very good choice. So my number 2, Coral.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. Now, while I have fallen off of this show as of late, losing Carl and Rick was a big thing for me. Holy shit, the impact this show had on. I mean, I've been a zombie fan my whole life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Zombies have been my favorite monster subgenre of horror. There's just something so beautiful about the afterlife being a zombie thing to me. I think that's because of Mr. Romero's Of the Dead series. He had a way of making it so absolutely freaking beautiful. And The Walking Dead is so much more than a zombie horror TV show. I mean, the 3rd episode had me crying. Tell it to the frogs. When Carl sees Rick and he runs to him and he grabs his son, and then he walks over and grabs his wife.
Yeah.
Me and my son have every issue. I mean, I have the graphic novel right here, but
I love it.
we've collected the comic for years and years and years. Now the comic is over, obviously, but
Kenny dressed up as Carl.
yeah, me and Kenny, when The Walking Dead was in like season 1 or 2 or 3, in the first 3
he
seasons,
was young, like 4 or 5.
Kenny was Carl and I was Rick, and we walked around our town as Rick and Carl. I mean, that's how much this show meant to us, and it's such a beautiful show. a scary show, a
Mhm.
sad show. I
Oh.
can count. I probably need to wear flip flops to count how many times the show has made me cry.
Oh,
Even
countless
when you have like Merle, when Daryl
Oh.
fights Merle, and
Yeah.
Daryl gives that ugly.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
yeah.
God, it still punched me in the throat. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, oh my God, it's such a beautiful show, and I love it so much. So,
Mhm.
coming in at number 2, my silver medal, which should have been higher than number 5, is
Okay.
The Walking Dead. You want to give us your number 2, my love?
Yeah, so mine is also The Haunting of Hill House.
What?
Yes.
Women on the same page.
This show is so character driven, and like honestly you almost forget that you're watching a movie. Like you feel like you're a part of it until like one of those scary parts happen, like in the back seat or the neck lady. And I feel like you can be affected by this depending on where you are in your life. Like each character, you can kind of feel like you can see. Like,
they're all the stages of grief.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Tension, you got anger, you got sadness.
So
Denial.
depending on where you are in your life when you watch this, you feel for these characters, and it's like a family that you truly care about and you feel like you're part of almost. And I just thought it was so beautiful, such a beautiful show, and I really enjoyed it. So that is my number 2.
I kept saying, get out the house, get out the house. Yeah, like literally.
What about you, Matt? What comes in at number 2 for you, brother?
I really want to talk about Midnight Mass some more. This is where I put, this is my number 2. But it hit me in a, I agree with everything that's said before, but it hit me in a different way. Because growing up, I came from a church that found corruption in it. And so it became harder and more difficult to reconcile those two things. And so now it's like I'm watching this show where it's like those things, that feeling is like addressed. Like, how do you separate these two things? Like the corruption is horrible, but then the other part is great. But how are you still able to be a part of it? You know?
Right.
So
that's some deep shit, Matt.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's
it's good. It's good.
And then the whole isolation really ramped up those feelings because you're trying to figure out how to get out of a situation that's horrible, but there's nowhere to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, there's no option. So what do you do? Like, what's the answer for that? You know, so it brought up some really poignant questions and like things that I've thought about, you know, so it was pretty interesting to have that level of like, I don't know, like representation for something that I went through. I've never seen that in a show where it's like, that's exactly how it would feel, you know?
Yeah.
That would make, I see why it's your number 2 now. When it comes to the home, you know, your heart, your home, and it hits you there, nothing can compare to that. When you watch art, and you, as you know, being the amazing artist that you are, when you see somebody else's art hit you the way that your art hits other people, I can only imagine how that made you feel watching that show, man.
Yeah.
That's really, that's incredible.
And that's what good art does too.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get into our number 1s, I want to go back through the chat real quick. Caveman, American History X was one of those impactful movies. Controversial, but does teach life lessons and at least not how to do it. One of the saddest endings I've ever seen, man. Finally made his way out. He finally I know that lifestyle is garbage. That's why you got to, every choice you make matters. Every choice. Dexter New Blood would definitely be my number 2 choice. Well, now I know Jay Deb's number 1. Podcast in the Woods. Part of the reason horror is so great is how flexible it is with relevant messages and metaphors.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ooh, Midnight Mass is genius. Haven't heard Lucifer mentioned yet. I did not have it.
Lucifer. No, me either. Didn't make the list.
People still have number 1s.
Right.
Number 2, Haunting of Hill House. It's probably my favorite Flanagan show so far. Agreed. It was the scariest to me. Agreed. The twist was his best. Agreed. The scares were purposeful and the acting characters were a high point. Agreed. It was so good. Slow stories have to have really good writing and lead to something good to justify it. This ADHD period. Yes, I know. But and I agree with you. But Mike Flanagan can pull off a slow burn better than anybody I've ever seen in my life. That worked out really well. Sixth Sense, I see dead people jump scares. It's the first time slow burn. You know what? And this is a conversation Ashley and I just recently had. The worst thing about the Sixth Sense is the ending, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
Oh, I know.
Because the reason I say that is because that ending is so goddamn good that it makes people forget how great the rest of the movie is.
Yeah.
That movie is so good.
Yes.
What people talk about is that ending, and it's like
the ending was funny.
Well, and that's like Tony Collette.
The scene where she's in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, what did you ask her at the grave? And she's like, do I make her
you
proud?
proud?
Oh God, that kills me every time.
And then he says every day. Yeah.
So Shiny, number 2, The Walking Dead. I shed tears. I've laughed, got scared, losing my TV family, left from the right since I was 12 years old to now 24. Andrew Lincoln at Rick Grimes. Yes. Oral. Yes, Hill House at 2 for the win.
Yeah.
I got canceled for having The Walking Dead at number 2. They killed Rick. No, they have not killed Rick.
Oh my God, no.
Somewhere.
No. Okay, no.
They have not killed Rick. So no, I didn't spoil anything.
Yeah. Oh, what? Nobody spoiled anything.
I didn't say anything.
He says, look. I'm canceling you. Petitions will be posted. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. I'm so sorry. I just never could get into The Walking Dead. I tried. I really did. But you know what? That's the good thing.
That's okay.
That's one thing about art. Because you didn't like it. I loved it. At least somebody's enjoying the art that somebody else made.
Right.
I respect it. Well, Maya's about to get canceled. She probably didn't like The Walking Dead either. I expect more from you, Maya. No, I'm just kidding. Podcast in the Woods. It is slow at first, but stick with you because what's going to happen next. I couldn't get into it. I knew it. Though I heard they kill off a ton of people and it gets worse by the later seasons. Maybe it's a good thing. I love The Walking Dead. I mean, I would love to catch up on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish.
It's about to be done.
It's about to be done.
Yeah, I think that we just need to finish it. Like, we just have to.
And I'm sorry, Maya. I've heard that a lot from different people. Number 2, True Blood. Rest in peace. Left far too soon.
Yes.
Ayo Ash joined the Haunting of Hill House in that number 2 club.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should give Flanagan all the money to keep making series. Yeah.
I think he's working on the Midnight Club now.
Bruce had to play every scene with 2 outcomes. I seen a meme and it made me laugh. It was like, if you think your life is bad, just remember Bruce Willis died in The Sixth Sense, and that motherfucker continued to work.
Look at that. Still on the job, dedicated. Yes.
Now we're going to do our number 1s. As always, guys, something we're going to do, and I ask you guys and gals, before you give your number 1, I'll start this one. We're going to start at our honorable mentions and go all the way down through our number 1. So my honorable mentions were Creepshow and The Mist. Number 10, The Outsider. I'm going to add, you know what? Midnight Mass was also an honorable mention because it was my number 9, but I booted it off for Mr. Mercedes. Number 8, Lock and Key. 7, Bates Motel. 6, Channel Zero, specifically the season, The No End House. 5, Chucky. 4, The Haunting of Hill House. 3, Ash vs. the Evil Dead. 2, The Walking Dead. And number 1, we're going to Hawkins, Indiana. And we're going to see some Stranger Things. This show, it's nostalgia 100% for me. I grew up in a video store in a very small town where me and my cousins and my friends, that's what we did. Was we rode our bikes around. We went to the local pool, Bone Pool. We went to baseball games. We got in trouble. We went out to the creek and caught frogs. Like, watching this, well, I mean, I never fought any monsters or anything because I'd have kicked their asses.
Yeah.
But, I dreamed of the Upside Down as a kid and watching everything from going to the video arcade. We had Aladdin's Palace and Just for Fun. Dig Dug. I remember going and playing Dig Dug. Like, I remember these things and I watched this and I'm like, and again, this is not a slight at a younger generation. It's not.
It is, though.
Yeah.
I'm
what he's going to say. Yeah, what are you going to say?
I'm so lucky to have grown up in the time period that I grew up in.
Yes. Agreed. Yep.
Technology took over.
My mom, I used to be able to go and walk around my town.
And they didn't worry about you.
When the street lights came on.
Street lights,
when you heard mama, you knew it was time to go home.
And when you actually played outside,
Yeah.
like you literally, were outside playing.
Yeah, that's what my mom told me. My mom said, if you see those street lights come on and you're not home, or you hear me yell and you're not home, I'm beating your ass.
Yeah.
So those were our rules, and we were safe then. There was never this fear of what was happening. Now the younger generation has it very, very good with the cell phones and being able to contact each other and be able to
Mhm.
make friends all across the country. And I'm envious. I wish I could have had that at my age, but at the same time, I remember seeing Raiden versus Scorpion for the first time on Mortal Kombat
Mortal Kombat.
in the video arcade on the console, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Mhm.
The first match I ever seen was Scorpion versus Raiden. I remember, get over here.
I just said that.
Watching Stranger Things really gives me that feeling of nostalgia and makes me so honored to have had the childhood that I had growing up in the time period that I grew up in. And so number one for me had to be Stranger Things. Turn around. You know, they have never ending story, everything. That's
Soundtrack.
yeah,
Great
number one
movie.
for me was, is, and always will be Stranger Things. Very excited for season 4. So,
Me too.
what's your list look like, my love?
All right, so my honorable mentions were American Horror Story and Channel Zero. 10 was The Purge. 9 was Lock and Key. 8 was Santa Clarita Diet. 7 was The Outsider. 6 was Midnight Mass. 5 was The Walking Dead. 4, Chucky. 3, Ash vs. Evil Dead. 2, The Haunting of Hill House. And number 1 for me is also Stranger Things.
Wow. Nice.
For the reasons that you said, it's very nostalgic and reminds me of being a kid. And I love how it's got multiple genres in it, you know, coming of age, conspiracy thriller, adventure, and it's got horror. And also my son will watch it with me. So that's like a plus side. Like, this is something that we can, you know, bond together, and he enjoys it as much as I do. Yeah. And it just, I really enjoyed them, and I liked all of the seasons.
I'm still a 2 truther. I think season 2 was my favorite.
Yeah.
So we've gotten a 1, a 3, and a 2. So
I don't know that I can just. I like all of them for different reasons.
Right.
So, number 1 for me is Stranger Things.
Nice.
Thank you.
all right, Matt, you want to guide us through honorable mentions up to number 1?
Of course. My 2 honorable mentions were Outer Limits and Millennium. Then American Horror Story at number 10. Ash vs. Evil Dead at number 9. The Haunting of Hill House at 8. X-Files at 7. Black Mirror at 6. Am I off? No. Yes. I don't think I am. Stranger Things at 5. Annabelle at 4. Tales from the Crypt at 3. Midnight Mass at 2. And I've got to go with True Detective season 1.
Oh,
My favorite horror show.
really good.
I
Yeah.
saw Bud Nelson in the chat saying it was horror adjacent, and I would disagree with that
It's
because I feel it's very similar to Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, agreed.
And that is classified as a horror movie. These are in the same vein. I feel like, and the way that they unfolded this story, I've never seen this before, where you're getting a flashback, and the flashback is intense. What these 2 detectives are going through, trying to find this killer or this larger group, and it's tense. But you're like, well, they're telling it. They're fine. This is from the past, and then it slowly catches up to them, and then the story now is going to the future. Like, you're following them along into uncharted territory. And that just ratcheted up the tension because you don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it's horrific and it's scary.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this isn't really about the serial killer and solving the case. It's like the consuming nature of dedicated, like, your life to one thing, and like what that can do if it's toxic to you. You know? So it's really fascinating. You know, so this is like, I don't usually rewatch shows, but True Detective I watched like 4 or 5 times now, like all the way through, just to like start breaking down like how they did it, because it's, I mean, the only way I can describe it is like magical, but usually you think of like a Disney movie.
Sure.
But how this unfolded is amazing. So
I do got to add this in real quick. When I die, Matt, I want you to narrate my life story.
I tell you,
I'm gonna you forever, dude.
Yes, break down that analysis.
You are my Morgan Freeman, Matt.
Oh, thank you very much. That's an awesome compliment. It really is. Thank you.
No, I love, dude. Like all of you, the insight that you guys are bringing to your list is something I appreciate. You're not just like True Detective. There's cops. I love the insight that all of you are bringing to your list. It really makes it for a much more exciting and fun conversation. So, thank you, all three of you, for the insight that you're bringing to this conversation. It's really awesome, Matt. Thank you for that. Kira, you want to give us your honorable mentions up to number 1?
Sure. So my honorable mentions was Brand New Cherry Flavor on Netflix, and then Salem, which you can watch now, I believe, on Hulu, free if you pay for the no ads. And then my top 10, number 10 was Sharp Objects. Number 9 was Bates Motel. Number 8 was The Twilight Zone. Number 7 was The X-Files. Number 6 was Stranger Things. Number 5 was Marion. Number 4 was The Haunting of Bly Manor. Number 3 was The Haunting of Hill House. Number 2 was Midnight Mass. And number 1 is Penny Dreadful.
Oh,
I don't know if anyone has had the opportunity to
view
view or witness the series. I will never justify it fully, try to put into words how great this series is. It is stunning to watch, the cinematography. It brings back all of our favorite characters from horror: Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, Dorian Gray from Oscar Wilde's famous novel, Dracula. The characters are exceptional. So Eva Green, who plays the title character, Vanessa Iles, Josh Hartnett is in it. He plays Ethan Chandler, and not giving this away, but there's a wolf element to his character. The creature, which I think is some of the beautiful storytelling in Penny Dreadful, the language that's used. I heard one reviewer describe it as it's a tale of beautiful creatures and horrible wonders, but more so for me, it is really about how human beings can be the worst creature ever, comparison to our darkest nightmares. So Penny Dreadful, if you haven't seen it, John Logan, exceptional writer. He wrote every single episode, Stella. And I rewatch that often because you will be taught something new every time you do watch it.
That's a good
sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
Great list and great choice. Now, how about you, Mika? Your honorable mentions up to your gold medal.
Okay, so my honorable mentions were Evil on CBS, now Paramount, and From, which is a new series from Epix. My number 10, which got me canceled, was The Walking Dead. Number 9 was Tales from the Crypt. Number 8 was Chucky, the TV series. Number 7 was Are You Afraid of the Dark? Number 6 was Yellow Jacket. Number 5 was American Horror Story. Number 4 was Stranger Things. Number 3 was Lovecraft Country. Number 2 was The Haunting of Hill House. And my number 1, which was my ultimate series, which I love, hold dear to my heart, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Awesome.
Yes. So, Buffy, premiere 1997, 7 seasons. Just iconic horror show. I just love, had a strong female protagonist. I love how the show did a good mix of camp, drama, horror. I love the feminist message in the show in terms of just the group of women. You had Buffy, you had Joyce, you had Dawn, you had Willow, you had Tara, just those group of women, kicking butt and taking names. Later was just awesome. I love the play on the show. So you had the town of Sunnydale, which I thought was ironic because you have these teens who have a town built right on the Hellmouth. So it's just, all these different things going on. But I just think it was just such an iconic show. It's one of up there. I remember around that time it was Xena and Buffy for me. So those were my jams. So Buffy to me is number 1.
Awesome.
This has been so much fun, guys. Now, before we go, as always, we're going to open the chat up. I'm going to catch up on the chat. And if you have any questions for the Double Feature podcast, Mika and Kira, or Matt, if you have any questions for any of them, please ask now. And like I said, their social media links are all down in the description. So make sure you are clicking those and following them on social media as well. Maya says, my number 1 is the Chucky series. I had so much fun with it. It really brings some new life into the series. And of course, the LGBTQ storyline was a high point for me.
Yes.
I get it. Like I said, need more than one season. J. Dev Walking Dead. There's never a doubt. Never a doubt. And here in the next couple weeks, J-Dev, Ashley, and I will be ranking our favorite Walking Dead seasons. So,
well, then we definitely
yeah,
have to get caught
we
up.
discussed
I know.
How can we do that?
Yeah.
We got Devin Sawa, the Canadian King. He really is.
He is
He's
something.
pretty.
He's a pretty man.
Stranger Things, the never-ending story. Turn around.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's my favorite part of that.
Yeah, it's so good. Number one, Courage the Cowardly Dog, my number one favorite show. This show scared the shit out of me as a kid, but I still loved it. That's so funny because, like, I was scared of that show when I was a kid. Ren and Stimpy was another to make me laugh.
Oh,
Scared
Ren
the
and
shit out of me.
Stimpy. Oh.
And Real
People
Monsters.
did
Real
mention Are You Afraid of
Monsters,
the Dark? My number one, yeah, I knew your number one, Maya, before you even joined the chat, love.
Yes.
Yes, Lewis, you do need to see The Walking Dead. Start it from the beginning. You may love it, you may hate it, but it's worth you checking out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Season 3 is my favorite season of Stranger Things. Chucky is awesome. Hell yeah, Matt. True Detective for the win.
You're welcome, bud.
Gavin's the shit. I enjoyed Stranger Things too, guys. I promise. I just didn't have it on my list. But yeah, it's a fun time. I do think it's a bit overhyped, but it's great. I can understand that too. It's worth seeing if you can get into The Walking Dead and stay with the journey no matter the ups and downs. I almost said the UPS.
On cabs, I get it. Yeah.
What can Brown do for you? Gosh, can you tell my grandpa drove for UPS for 30 fucking years? I'm dead serious. My grandpa used to pick me up on the UPS truck and take me to school. That's
Love
a complete true story. True Detective is the greatest bad feeling I've ever had.
Yeah.
Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out.
Yes.
This is the way, guys. We
This
don't
is the
don't
way.
make the rules, we just follow them.
This is true.
Though if we don't get a fruity character in season 4, I'm suing. As Cal Daly says, petitions will be posted. I've got to get on Penny Dreadful. You had me at cinematography.
Oh,
These guys have been some of my favorite guests, Ken. You should definitely have Morgan Freeman and the Maori sisters back again. All right, guys, this was fun. Have a great night. Loved it. This was great. Adding some of these to my watch list. Thank you. That's what we hope for.
Yes,
Now,
definitely.
before we go, I do want to let you know that coming up this week on Sledgehammer Horror, Ashley just did an episode on that if you want to watch it in our shorts. But on Tuesday, we will be joined by two of my best friends in the whole world, Nick of the Lost River Drive-In and Justin of Rhine 1988 at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on the channel. And we will be counting down our top 10 scariest horror moments of all time. Now, this doesn't mean jump scares,
Okay.
but moments from horror movies that scared you and stuck with you.
Mhm.
And much like when you go camping with your lover, we hope this is fucking intense. Okay. So we really hope that you enjoy this. Ashley's like, fucking intense. You're an idiot. But this is one of those things where these are moments that genuinely scared me to my core in horror movies. And my number one
Good one.
has
Yeah.
stuck with me since the first time I seen this movie. And you gotta
Never
watch
left.
it.
Yeah.
You
never
gotta
left.
come and join us on Tuesday.
Oh, we'll
night.
come. We'll
Yes,
sure. Yeah,
definitely.
we'll come.
Oh, I'm curious to see the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this ain't no funeral home. So we will see you guys on Tuesday. Like I said before, guys, please make sure you're clicking the links down here in the description, following my friends on social media, because when they're my friends, they're your friends. When you follow them on social media, it makes that a little bit easier. So the podcast from the Double Feature podcast will be starting April 1st.
Yeah.
So you can be linked up and ready to listen to the first episode when it comes out. And on top of that, Matt, I have all of his links down here in the description, as well as his podcast too, the Post Credits podcast. You can check that out.
Please
J-Dev,
do.
Thank you, Jada.
thank you, buddy. You mean so much to me. Thank you so much. Maya said, sorry, Ken, I missed that. You knew I would have one. What before I joined the chat?
Chucky would be your
Chucky would be
number
your
one.
number one. I knew that, Maya. I knew that was your number one before you even joined the chat. But as always, guys, we appreciate you coming out. Matt, Mika, Kira, please don't go anywhere. I got a couple more questions for you guys. As always, everybody else, keep talking horror,
Stay who you are.
and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, everybody.